Shadow scene, that's a nice free kill. Satsunito, but backing up, it's another double short setup for Team Spirit, and Shiro's finally been able to rally one off on this AWP. Tenopsy closing in, but won't get past Tania. So this could be the return to form for Spirit they've been waiting for, looking for a clean round. Can Bibu complicate matters? That's a good bit of damage done. It's the Shiro Warp closing in. No, these misses are starting to get real rough. He'll make up for it. All well and good. Right now, you're just kind of treading water for a couple of key players to come online for Team Spirit.
Yeah, I'm gonna breathe a bit easier after a round like that. They do save it on multiple fronts. We're seeing a lot of double short aggro here, yet to be truly realized by GG How. Magic's getting that nice late trade onto Zontix. Keeps the pressure on this A-Cross. No bomb plant here, so no money on a few of these players. Or rather, drops are already in the air, so AWP is out. This will be their final buy.
I mean, if you remember, like the first time they saw Magic's on the double short take, he kind of peaked so late in the round that I don't think you realize that's how he started.
Yeah, there the whole time.
But that time around, right, the fight comes in way quicker. Now maybe you're building a bit of a better image as to how they're trying to solve this mid problem with the double short setup.
Hot shot in middle for Shiro, but Mini's AWP looks ramp. Shiro will rotate. It's a scary peek, to be honest. But a well-timed nade connects, and GG How is still looking to scrap on this site. Tag comes in, Mini barely surviving. Ooh, I'm getting scared.
Shiro feeling the pressure. Synopsy overwhelms him, but in comes Donk. And that's 2 kills to the good. How many more can he get? Plays right through the smoke. Donk keen to get involved as a bunch of these rounds have just passed by for Team Spirit with Donk not hyper in the picture. Finally has his round. That's a pretty monstrous 4K. And
just saying, Shiro, man, if you want to be the human decoy, I can trade you out.
Set me up, dude. You're fine.
Back-to-back rounds, bails out Shiro. Big 4K from Donk. Team Spirit are back in business, Harry, so no need to overreact on this early start here for GG How. This is where they're truly going to get tested. The depth of their T-side here on Mirage. A couple of nice B-pops in this game already. They're going to go back for it, but no util to make anything happen.
I think like that's
nice.
It's a very hard thing to contest with here for GG How. The idea that, you know, yeah, you had Spirit a little bit on the ropes, worried about their money, worried about the finances, not wanting the game to just get ripped away from them. But as they find their footing, as the money builds up, as they feel a bit more secure, you're going to see kind of the brakes come off. They're going to stop turtling up. Donk's going to be getting involved out towards mid. It's going to get more aggressive, a lot harder to predict. You're going to have, you know, opening fights kind of ahead of the timing you were looking for. Won't get to run some of these set pieces that we've seen. And that's where very, very quickly this can start to go the other way. So you are bang on. It's a test of their depth here on this T side.
There's nothing in this burger. This one is going nowhere. I say that. 2 deeks connect, but not getting out past Donk. So easy enough here for Team Spirit. Levels a score. GG How would not be a bad time for a timeout, to be honest, to come into their next gun round. All important, half-deciding gun round. Was this just a strong start? Or is there something more?
Here's some more of this Donk aggression out towards mid. It's been where GG How have looked to find their early successes, and they will trade him after one. I mean, any round you can stop him with just 1 kill, you'll take it. And with Shiro a swing and a miss again out through short.
Not his game.
Advantage for GG How.
A risky position, but it might be underchecked. Still a 1-for-1. This is getting scary now. Osamas has taken deep space in that A side. Zontics covering the cross. They've got Util. They want the cross, and they make it over. Satanito above the stairs with cover. And this is looking like a solid half, and no clutch today as Osama shuts down the in-game leader of Team Spirit. 1-for-1 on Donk indeed, and when Shiro is missing every shot presented, don't have a lot of heroes left to save you.
No, it's feeling kind of awkward. Like, you see him trying to force the fights, trying to bring himself back into the game, but it feels like in a lot of these rounds, it's just given a way in for GG How.
Well, a lot of the time as well, he's playing late rounds. Now he's going for early moves, getting punished. And look at the pace behind this one. Satanito fearless through the Molotov. Look at how quick he is here. Donk's going to break that smoke, it looks like. So got to be aware that Satanito is stepping. Donk never goes for the break. There it is late, finally in as he finds Synopsy. Donk waits till it's safe to pass.
But, like, you know Zontix is dead, and I think kill feed Counter-Strike can do a lot for GG How here. He's the second guy over towards B. You know that Magic's likely there alone right now. There's a bit of a gap on this B side of the map.
Yeah. This looks like the perfect call for GG How to find a winning half. Magic's reinforced by Shiro.
Right.
Okay, you can redeem yourself now on this AWP.
You know, you've been waiting, you've been looking for that round that brings you back into the game. This could well be it for Shiro. First shot lands. Bit of help from Magic's as well. And this AWP might be low. Swung out wide. Shiro brought down a half. Satanito still a long way away from being in play in this round. And as he tries to join up through short, you'd think Tanier's meant to have his number. 20 seconds left on this. Time working against GG How. Positions known on both players. Time really is the enemy here. All three players brawling in the site for Team Spirit. As Osamas goes out, Shiro will find him. They'll split the difference down this half. And finally that AWP finding a bit of success in the final round of their CT side. Felt like Shiro this whole game was hunting for his round to have the impact. Was that it? Do we get a better Shiro heading into this second half?
We're definitely seeing like the Spirit were able to slow down the play by the end of that CT side, right? Able to give away less kills. Sure, the second last round was a little intense down in middle, but for the most part, considering that was 5-2 down from the rip, Spirit do a pretty good job of stabilizing here. And a pistol round just suddenly puts them right back in contention for a clean victory. GG How definitely with flashes of brilliance, though. Some of the shots we've seen connect in this game from Synopsy, from Satanito, Osamas with a big clutch. It has been impressive. So don't look away now. Who knows what the second half is in, what we're in store for. Window smoke and Spirit go right towards the catwalk.
Yeah, clear game plan here for Spirit. Go for this B split, 3 in through short. GG How going to be out of position, so you're looking at Mini and Synopsy. And, well, that's really not a bad way to get the ball rolling, is it? Synopsy with a keen double. They're closing in. Job's not done, but this B site holds its own and then some.
Dude, he's full running and he hits that one tap on the second player. Mid-air shot into the running one tap. Beautiful connection for Synopsy. Could not be any better here for GG How. A flawless round on that B-bomb site. My, oh my.
That's
what can you do about that?
That's the B site getting wrapped on. Everyone else is so far away. GG How had just pushed ramp. They started 3 out towards the A site. That couldn't have been a better call for Spirit, but you know, the call is kind of only half the battle there. You go into the under-defended bomb site, you get wrecked by Synopsy.
Tanier jumped for Donk there and neither even get a bullet out. A round that Spirit know well is unwinnable. GG How take control. They push top middle, they get the nades in, but then they depart quickly, not offering up the kill, but more importantly, scrambling the radars of Spirit. Where have these players gotten to? Mini pushes under. Think not going to do it. Back out top mid for Spirit. Frustrating rounds here. Coming down for Spirit on this T side. Does that change with guns? We've split pistols now. GG How still hold the lead. Play getting made off the rip.
How far do you reckon they take this? As you get this control out towards ramp, you hear Spirit still mucking around in top mid. I think you feel like you have space here and are just going to follow through with a backstab. 2 players dedicated to this.
Oh, no, man.
And Magix has just left the angle, but Zontix is coming back. He might be able to save them here. No one with eyes on Palace. And so the backstab gets rumbled.
This has changed the whole round, though, for Spirit. They do want to come back and clear this out. Inside of the Palace, pushes Bibu. Zontix is trapped right now. He's going to hold his own. Second kill, low health, but enough for Spirit to roll out this red carpet. Synopsy hides at B. 2 more MP9s adorn this A site. And I still find a bit of fear in me with Osama's taking Palace once again. The deeper he goes, the worse it is. Zontix still waits.
Zontix has learned he just can't take his eyes off this position. Oh, don't do it. Why would I say that? There he is, taking his eyes off this position.
He's still out of control, though. Osama has lost A entirely. Unless he flanks ramp right now, he's going to hear the nades. Now he's in a great spot. This would still be something else. He is 1v4 in this site.
And it feels like GG Howard just saying, look, man, see what you can do. If you make this interesting enough, we'll come in. We'll give this a try. Turn around for Shiro. First kill picked up. Gun game as he swaps out onto the M4.
2 low players.
His teammates aren't budging. It feels like Guan wasn't enough to tip the scales for a retake here. Just going to try and save on these 3 players.
Oh, I mean, the margins that Spirit win that round by are very tight. If Osama stays Palace, if he commits to ramp the second he gets there, all of these look like double kills and ways back into the round. I feel like that is somewhat fearful from Osama's. I feel like maybe they're feeling a bit of pressure there, because I would have just loved to see him commit to his move. That would have definitely done him better than 1. We see how low these players are. But he's going to err on the side of caution, play the money game, hold on for later. They still have a round lead to work with, and they have a boatload of cash as well. But it leaves you wondering if there was more available there for GG How.
I think, though, you know, considering it's a bonus round for him and they really had Spirit on the ropes, you could leave it still feeling kind of good, especially if you find some success here and now. I mean, telling yourselves that that save was to bring out the big guns and hit even harder the second time around. Mini takes an instant line out towards Palace. He'll be meeting Zontix, who has been a bit of a defining character in this game for Team Spirit, from his early B holds with Magix to winning them that bonus round attempt for GG How in the last.
Zontix looked very frustrated on the cams there. You know, you don't often see much emotion out of this guy or acknowledgement. It is nice that we have these player cams on the HUD at all times. So Spirit a man down, have to do it. Back on this A site where they know the AWP just was, but it's rotated back to B, leaving it alone. Satanito ladder side. Spirit still going into the stack. Whoa, that's the bomb.
That's the bomb spotted. Shiro very low and in no position to play out through ramp. Donkatanir doing what they can, but it's the rotate of this orb that catches them by surprise. And Shiro, who was brought down low right at the top of the round, is the sole survivor. And he's in no position to fight. GG How gonna maintain this lead.
Yeah, it was nice to see them rotate back. Don't know what the tell was. They were starting to lean towards B in the silence, and then right before Spirit come through those smokes, that's when GG How doubled down on that A-hold. Everybody in position to stop it. They even let Donk live. They transferred off him before they got the kill, and he still gets punished 1-for-1. So they're doing a good job of shutting down Spirit's best player. And Spirit have called another timeout. The only team to use them in this game.
And I think if there's one thing you're really aware of right now, it's the frustration out of Team Spirit. You know you've caught their star AWPer a little bit shaky to get the day going. Donk wasn't exactly dominating from round one. You kind of got them on shaky ground off the rip, and now you're building upon this lead. And we were talking about Synopsy, his experience, the things he's accomplished in the past, how he was always a threat in these kind of underdog matchups. He knows exactly what's going through the minds of Spirit as this game is getting away from them.
Yeah.
And he's keen to push every little advantage.
Captain of this squad, and I mean the two European players putting in the biggest shift here for GG How right now. Him and Satanito, the two most experienced players on this squad. Satanito had some great T-side rounds.
I mean, dude, even Thomas has had good impact as this has gone on. I think he was like 0-5 at the start of the game, so
nice.
Been on a pretty convincing turnaround since that point.
Spirit get given nothing in the middle. AWP is in the ladder. Mini, very patient, as he was in Palace last round. Waiting for the guaranteed kill, and as Magic's re-hits mid to fake, Spirit are going to group for this B-pop. Bibu alone in this bomb site. Mini going to get distracted on short for now and blocked. He can't rotate out. Sooner Spirit go, the better. Here we go.
Mini just can't vacate short too quickly.
Oh.
Just gonna miss this timing, gets out with one on a donk, but Magix closes in. Orp now on short. Bibu with a bit more to do and an ugly spray.
Was that
Seals
Shiro?
the fate, that was Shiro. Oh, it's really looking ugly.
It's just
GG How loving it, however.
It's the day where you're just not feeling it, right? A normal Shiro would have stopped spraying, would have counter-strafe, hit another burst, but he just full commits to a 20-round spray on a market player. Cannot confirm the kill. They also, yeah, sure, Mini dies to a Tech 9, but who does he kill, Harry?
Yeah, he gets rid of Donk.
He gets rid of Donk.
That's the entry power stripped out of the round.
Doesn't it just feel like that is the hammer on your head now, Spirit? You have one gun round to save your entire BO1 opener. Dear, oh dear. Winner of this plays Game Allegiant for a playoff spot.
All right, GG How, we're noticing. Look, you could be on the cusp of something real special here. Coming to Bibu's bomb site again. Well, maybe not. Yeah, util drop back to Shiro. Bibu is very alone. 1-for-1 is simply not enough here. Rotates starting to make their way over. Satanito gets here in time, but it's the Donk Deagle opening things up. Bibu with a mow down. Donk delivers death on the Deagle, though. There's a second. Can Donk save Team Spirit the embarrassment?
He's trying.
2 kills found already. As the job isn't done yet, though. GG How grouping for this retake. Molly gonna force a fight out of Shiro. Donk with the spot. This Deagle really starting to feel the pressure now as his teammates fall around him. Magix does what he can. He softens up another player, and Donksteeg swings out for a third with the pistols. Team Spirit looking to keep it alive. Killing blow dealt by Magix as him and Donk put on a clinic in that eco round.
Oh, how dare I count it out. I said Spirit had 1 gun round to right their wrongs, but I forgot about the Donk Deagle triple headshot despite so many missed shots. I love how Spirit isolate that short player first. They know he's going to move in before the market contingent with the AWP down in kitchen. They have 3 players facing short, bailing out their Edward player who got mollied. That was really nice from Spirit. Forces the AWP to have to make a move, and Donk is just dancing with death.
And you kind of see the fear he put in them, right? They were both coming out the market door, ready to try and react around the short contact. They see Donk on that little jiggle. They both thought about it. They kind of second-guessed themselves on the push. And so that is the Donk effect right there. It's put them back within touching distance of GG How. It's a lifeline for Team Spirit. And it comes from their start.
What a saving grace. And what a time to do it. Timeout from GG How.
I mean, yeah, if you're GG How right now, you know that, like, that's the round that could rattle you. If any round was gonna... You've been on this winning streak. You've been taking great strides in this matchup. You just can't get in your head about falling down to the pistols. Gotta stay focused.
Deep AWP line for Mini. He's had many different positions on this AWP. And what this does do at least is free up his team to play heavy on the other side of the map. He's got multiple fallback options available, but he still needs to hit his first shot. Tanir is lurking apartments. Maybe a factor for later as Spirit look to set up on this A site. I wonder what timing Tanir plays. Is he going to just play off the execute and try and get a backstab? Palace smoked, might cause a bit of a problem here for Spirit. They still throw in the execute. Tanir does not move.
There's 2 players in the site ahead of these smokes, and that might be more than you bargained for. Okay. You get the spot on B-Boot. Donk spams him out, and Tanir here's this
classic
rotation.
It's the Magix bomb rotation. We see this all the time. Spirit love this pocket strat. Tanir's got the site. This round is over. So you'd like to think.
It is going to be the AWP on the line. Tanir tries to knock him off of it.
Oh no.
Missed Molly, but that bomb still crosses in. It's a crisis averted here for Team Spirit.
All right, it's a risky retake. Do you really want to risk your money? I don't think so. GG How are going to walk away. I do. Magix does that all the time. We've seen him do that on the world's biggest stages. That is the exact round that Magix got. The 1v4 market spray down, the graffiti moment back at the major. But it was him alone who made that rotation. This time he has Tanir to find the gap. But Spirit love just the little A execute into the late apartments rotate. And it completely catches GG How off guard. What a great time to call that move. That's after the timeout from GG How. We saw Hallie talking a lot. And the magic sauce puts Spirit on the board. Why does Donk put a full mag in that box? I don't know, but it's the perfect move. So 3 guns here.
And we've remarked on how Mini's been down to just take kind of these passive lines and free up players to rotate, but in a round like this, that's not really what you want from your AWP. You want it involved. You see him there trying to take a peek out towards mid, but the util denies him. Bit of a B-lean right now for GG How, and you've seen Zontix actually look kind of down to make plays out through Palace. There's just been util in his way. Well, that's not available here to GG How. So he tries to go early, ends up giving one away. Boost for Synopsy will get punished. And as Donk rears his head out through the connector, it's a keen double to turn the tide. Once again, trying to link up with the front man in Tanir. As he's taken all this ground out towards the A site. Donk did go searching and roaming, looking for a little bit more. And you wonder if feeding that AWP one is enough to make this round interesting. Bibu closing in. Shiro dead next.
No.
That one overstep from Donk. And now it's left Magix on the other end of the map. Out of position here.
They're on it. Fake.
Tab trying to draw a peek out from Magix, who swings this one wide, sees they're not on it yet, trying to close in. Does he really have this in him? Cover from Mini is there. And so GG How, those 3 rifles brought forth enough to get them through.
Yeah, 2v4 there in that basically post-plant when Donk swings into jungle. That is unbelievable to win that round after Spirit have won their eco and seemingly converted on it. That save was worth its weight in gold.
And dude, it feels rough there because it's like that's Donk with hot hands, 2 kills deep. If there's kind of one player you're down to give all the freedom to and say, look, you can have a swing, you can have a poke. But it leads to just absolutely dire consequences. AWP not only finds him, but they never got the spot on Bibu, who then swings out and grabs that AK off the ground, puts it to work. It just sets in motion this horrible chain of events for Spirit. It felt like they were getting back into this game.
Yeah.
Wonder if that round has really changed the tune, because
So
now your money is on the line. You're scraping together a buy here, and if you fall short, you're force buying up against 12. You're relying again on like a Donk Deagle to try and make this game happen.
Yeah, Spirit know the importance of this round. So again, their final timeout used in this one. Shiro, really poor game across both halves, has struggled to find impact. He's got the AWP on ramp, looking for that opener. Samus does take a little wiggle, but won't commit. And Donk, after throwing nades mids, has rotated, but look at this B push for GG How. They call this off of spawn. Push 2 in the apartments. They are all the way behind enemy lines. Magic saw it. He saw it throwing nades. Guns out, Donk by his side. Synopsy pulls his knife, but is Donk ready for more? Yes, he is. Just about, just in time. Keep Spirit up a man.
The things he's having to do to try and keep this game going. GG How thought that double push was the recipe for match point.
And I love that Donk has just seemingly made the call here. He threw the bomb back, he threw the window smoke, he goes, screw it, I'm walking under. You guys do your A hit, but I'm up to other things. Gonna try and lurk in on this A play. There is a nice flank for Asamas, but again, it's gonna rely on his teammates to do something. Donk is in position, he's not playing yet. He's gonna let the execute go through. Shiro throwing flashes, last of this play, mini miss shot, and this one's gonna cost you.
Yeah, pulls the attention away from Con. Bibu was watching for that move out of Donk, and they're even ready for a 3rd player in reserve on this backstab. Shiro gets eyes on in time, and so Team Spirit able to right their wrongs. Donk with a monstrous 3K. That double kill on the quick flank through the apartments is massive.
How is his gun ready? I mean, dude, that round is 1 second away from Spirit losing it. If Magix had started running to throw that smoke, he misses the flank timing. That's bomb down in spawn. Synopsy won't pull his knife. That's Spirit in the mud. So 1 second is all it takes to put Donk in position to still do something incredible and win that round with a triple kill. And look at where it leaves us. Hero AWP. Well, Mini feels like he's going to have to save that gun or win the round. Mini, he's just been getting flashed so hard in this game. Sees him under, catches a shot on Magix, but this B-pop is coming. Oh, the B-stack is building. 40 seconds. Spirit are going into a deadly situation.
You see the AWP there. Surely that gives you a moment of pause here. But Tania is committed to a backstab now.
Oh.
And so this AWP just give an open season to deal with them on the push.
Too late, surely. Tania 1v5. What's he got in the tank? Just jumping through, throwing himself in, but the pistol cuts him down. And that is a Shiro missed shot. Jumps back into his own Molotov. It does not get worse.
Oh. Donk's got his hand over his mouth. He can't believe what he's just seen. He can't believe this is real life. They're meant to be, you know, one of the heavy favorites to go and take the whole thing.
And I love how the GG
this is the opening game versus GG How.
And they call the pause. They just let Spirit stew in that. Like, have that pause. Enjoy it.
Shiro just 1G'd for crying out loud. Like, this can't be real.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, no matter what happens, Donk has an AK. But around him is very little. Shiro getting nades, gives a Galil. But man, nice to see Mini, who was also pretty quiet after that first half and, you know, kind of locked out of the CT side to a degree. Think about the 2 rounds he's had. He was part of that 2v4, back in jungle onto Donk and back to CT on A, and now that round as well just shuts down Donk on the entry, forces Shiro to burn alive. And now GG How with a chance.
I guess he forced it.
Yeah, we can call it that.
Well, Shiro really is like the Mothman. We haven't seen him at all in this game. Mini, again, on the line with this AWP. Just been a constant source of info for GG How to rely on, having these deep sight lines. This time, though, they're not playing fast and loose with Bibu. He's hanging around, ready for a B hit. And Mini's going to get the ball rolling. That is a very convincing shot to start this round. GG How looking for a massive upset. And it's not some drawn-out brawl to close at the end. It is a decisive victory. GG How from the open qualifier, and now a win on day one over Team Spirit. That is a monumental upset. How has Synopsy come back years down the line, and he's doing it all over again?
And now just a BO3 away from the playoffs. I mean, this is a core of a team that is from the Middle East, and they just took down the world #1 ranked VRS team in Team Spirit. Unbelievable game of Counter-Strike from GG How, and definitely a shaky match from Shiro and the gang. Donk excluded. That was ugly for Spirit. GG, how about that?
How about that is the question we're going to have to ask, and among many questions, of course, you might have to write an entire list of things that need to happen, and even then, maybe, and it did absolutely happen. GG How find the footing necessary to take down and give us our first upset here within the brackets of the Esports World Cup in Paris. How do you like them apples, Yanko?
Shocker, Trace, shocker. We were talking about a David versus Goliath matchup. Well, we got one, and
yeah,
well, what a game from GG How. Like, from the get-go, you know, they lose pistol, but they come out swinging in the gun rounds. They were aggressive, taking advantage of, you know, maybe some space or some mistakes that Spirit was making. But then in the end, feel like Spirit got control of the game, and for them to be able to close it out, just an impressive feat from GG How.
Yeah, I'm looking at Frank Synopsy in the Rat Pack here. So what do you got to say about that, Jacob? Because I know we needed a whole list and then maybe some more. So now, how do you feel about GG How?
I feel like we got everything we needed on that list, for sure. GG How doing a tremendous job, playing super aggressive, in-your-face Counter-Strike. Synopsy, as you said, involved in 7 opening duels, won 5 of those. Really having a great game. Mini as well with the AWP, constantly roaming around, constantly being in the pack, sort of, you know, or being where the action were at. Also went 6 for 7 in the opening kills his way, and especially the later rounds when they needed to get the finish line, or get it over the finish line, he was the one stepping up as well. So nothing but credit to to GG How. They took advantage of Spirit not showing up, Shiro not showing up, nowhere to be found on the server. Have a couple of blunders, not only his dare I say dueling, but also his decision making.
The Shiro haters are eating well today. They are feasting today, man, because it wasn't just it's actually uncharacteristic bad game for him. It's not a bad game in the sense of he doesn't have impact or whatever. It's like he was missing sitters and he's making bad decisions. Like those are usually the two things that he's good at, you know, playing in the clutch, those late round scenarios, and there was none of that today.
There was none of that, and neither will we be hearing from Team Spirit. They didn't win the game. We hear from the victors, and that's GG How.
Incredible result coming out from GG How here. Undoubtedly the biggest upset so far here at EWC. Sasanito, massive congratulations. We saw some big emotions there, some big reactions. Tell me what's going through your head.
I mean, I'm feeling like really good right now. I'm so happy. We're playing really confident. We just beat the #1 team in the world right now, so I don't know what to say anymore. We just need to keep grinding and show what we can do here.
And you did it in an incredibly stylish fashion as well. How much was this specific prep just for Team Spirit versus how GG How like to play normally?
I actually said that we had a really good plan, but I reminded the guys that we should play our game and do our stuff because we are really confident and we shouldn't focus too much on them, and that's what we did and we won.
Paid off massively. I do want to ask about a specific moment later in the game. Obviously, we had some great starts from you guys, but round 22, Spirit trying to get out onto that B site. You guys have an AWP, I believe an MP9, and then a couple of pistols. How did you get away with that one?
We had actually read with Mini that he should start short and start opening around there. But actually later in the half, we just gambled that they're gonna go B and Mini was on right position and he just killed 3 and we killed the other guys.
Right place, right time, massively paying off there. I do want to ask about Synopsy because we were talking about it during the game. He's obviously, yourself and him, the more experienced players on this GG How. Tell me about his input and some of his reads during this game.
I mean, he really knows us and he knows how we should move. He's guiding us. He's doing really good job and we should just play like this, and he's a really good player.
Final question. You've obviously come through the last chance qualifier here for EWC. Now, as you just said, you're taking down the #1 ranked team in the world. Where does that leave the ceiling, the limit for this GG How?
I'm actually surprised that we had a really tough, let's say, LCQ, and we made it through. And I don't think we have any pressure right now because we have nothing to lose. And we proved that we can beat the best team in the world, so I guess we'll just go on to the next game.
An incredible result. Thank you so much for your time, Sasanito.
Yeah, GG How fans also eating very good tonight. Obviously, for them, this was a big upset at a minimum. Jacob, what we got from the beginning of this matchup when we walked into it, we got some more questions, I guess, from the Spirit side.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for Spirit, that's disappointing. Atypical. We spoke about Shiro, atypical, you know, off performance. I think the entire team as well. Usually Tener, I feel like, does well against, you know, this kind of opposition as well. Lower tier opposition, face it kind of style. He was nowhere to be found. At the end of the day, I just want to give it to GG How. You know, they came in with a clear game-defined plan. They wanted to be in the face of Team Spirit. They never wanted to rest whatsoever. Came in a high pace, constantly reapplied pressure as well. Especially on that CT side. You saw every single round they were re-aggressing, whether that was towards middle, on A, on B, constantly seeking information. So at the end of the day, they decided to play on their terms. And if they were to lose, well, they would have lost on their own terms. But they didn't. Team Spirit couldn't capitalize. The only player showing up was Donk, and even this time around, that wasn't enough.
Yeah, and I think you see that being the what got them the win in the end. The round that Freya was talking to Tetsanito with, again, they're being proactive, even with the one saved off, and those rounds can be difficult to call against because who's gonna make the play? The pistols, the op, like, you know, they're very tricky to call, and they made it's uncomfortable for Spirit and for Magix with all the aggression. And yeah, that's what got them the win in the end.
And keyword right there from that interview to me is the gamble. He said we gambled in that round as well. So it's not like they were not sure. And you have to, and you can do that as an underdog. What you often see though, and that's where I want to give GG How credit as well, they were in a winning position, right? And you can get to the winning position by gambling, by playing free. You feel like you got nothing to lose, but all of a sudden you're in the game and you're like, oh, we're supposed to win now. That's when they start to mess up. That's when they start to stop the gambling. That's when they finally start to revert back to the normal level, so to speak. But they kept on playing on their terms, kept on gambling, kept on doing the right things, and for that they deserve credit as well.
And we pointed out Tatsunito, and early on that T side, like, he was instrumental in some of those round wins. He was shooting really hard, right? And that's all it takes. We talk about the score doesn't matter, momentum does. And GG How got a lot of momentum early on in the game, winning gun round after gun round, and you had that clutch from Osama, right? That's what you need for an upset to happen. You need some of those individual moments, like hero rounds, because then the players get confidence. It's like, oh, I just clutched against Spirit. Like, okay, we got this. We got these guys.
Well, especially when you think about momentum shifting moments. Well, you know, it's obviously something for Spirit to be able to have that in their pocket in the form of a donk or anybody who wants to fire away on that given day. Here in this server in particular, there was a real chance on a deco there from Donk. There was a real chance to sort of shift that momentum late in the game, and there was a chance.
That's kind of what I spoke about earlier. Round 18, Spirit is already in a position where they're supposed to lose the game. They have not even a force buy, you know, Deagle on Donk, a couple of utility pieces, and then go on towards the B bomb side, and then Donk does what he's been doing throughout the entire game. He keeps them alive. I thought to myself at that moment, round 18, that was the moment where, oh, GG How, now you got something to do, right? You're in a winning position, you're supposed to close it out, then that happens. So unfortunately for Spirit, didn't really manifest, didn't really capitalize from it, but it maybe goes without saying that was Donk keeping them alive, which he did for the vast majority throughout this game. The round is playing in front of you right now. See on your left screens, we're talking Deagle, Tech 9s, P250, very limited utility, and then Donk comes in with a nasty shot like this. Despite Bibo doing his absolute best to keep it alive, it's 2 entries from Donk. They get the bomb down, and unfortunately for GG How, weren't able to retake the bomb side, which can be tough even against pistols in a scenario like this. But I think to myself, right, if this would have been 11-7 for GG How, the game is over.
It's over, yeah.
You think to yourself that, right? Now Spirit, they win this round, it's 8-10, then GG How is unlimited economy, yet they find a way to fight back into the game. So they showed more than one facet of winning here, and again, as I said, for that they deserve credit.
Also, sometimes when you see this and you feel like, why are you guys overcomplicating this? If you're GG How, like, you're going up against pistols, why is there only one guy B? You know, where, you know, in Tatsunito on the way back, he gets one dig, right? So you're seeing this and you're like, this is exactly the sort of round that's going to end up costing them the game, but they were able to win a few of their own towards the tail end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, good looks for the side of GG How. You got to wonder when you get to a best of 3 against stiffer opposition for these guys, how they're going to be able to stack up against later on.
Well, that's the thing, right? As far as I'm aware, they face Gamer Legion, I believe, in the next game in the bracket.
Winner goes to playoffs.
Exactly. Not necessarily tougher opposition, to be completely honest. You'd figure that Spirit would be the toughest one you could face. So I think with the amount of confidence they gained from this game, with some of the rounds they won, we can, you know, look at round 20, I believe it is. Yeah. That's sort of like where the game crumbled for Team Spirit. You find yourself in a 4v2 scenario. Again, look at the money, look at the positions right here. Mini gets a free kill on Donk, maybe overextending a little bit. Bibu picks up the AK-47 from Donk, and all of a sudden you think to yourself, it's possible. Shiro, we spoke about the bad decision-making.
With his John Travolta impression.
Exactly. Tinea being caught in the open, and now you have Magix on 13 HP all by himself, and you lose the round. This is a 4v2 for Team Spirit. They don't lose that against the best teams in the world. They sure as hell don't lose that against GG How with no consequences.
And, you know, you can give a lot of excuses here and there, but a round like this is inexcusable. You know, we were talking about bounty, whatever. Here you need to bounce back, and, like, you're losing a 4v2. Like, also, if you're Donk, like, why are you going for that, like, deep peek? Then what the hell is Shiro doing in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of the bomb site? Like, what's going on here, guys? And then all of a sudden, Magix, in the span of 10 seconds, like, he's kind of playing to cut off rotations or saves or whatever, and with low HP, now he's in a sort of impossible clutch for himself, and that's the sort of a round that's gonna have Halley fuming, like that he's gonna, like, lose his mind and definitely grill the players about it. It's like, what are you guys doing here? Like, are you being serious right now? Like, if we play like this, you know, we're not gonna make the playoffs even, but I think they will. No matter, I think they're fortunate that now it's a tournament with, you know, 32 teams and 4 teams from each group go to the playoffs. And even with this loss to GG How, I mean, I have a very tough time seeing Spirit not make it through that lower bracket.
That's the thing, right? It sucks for everyone else now who's going to face Team Spirit in that lower bracket in the best of 3 games. So if anything, GG How has made it significantly tougher for everyone else in the group.
Yeah, which is awkward when it comes to people that love looking at these brackets and thinking they know the best. They know how it's going to pan out. Well, yeah, here's Shiro stats. Anybody, you guys got anything for this?
Just atypical bad game from Shiro. Not only the decision making, but also missing sitters. There were a couple of clutches in the first half as well, where he has the opportunity to swing the round in their favor. misses some easy shots. So, you know, it's okay to have a game off sometimes, but it's the being caught in the open, it's the decision making. You can have games where you're not hitting your shots, that's fair enough. Then you revert back to just playing, you know, smart Counter-Strike and not necessarily being a liability. I feel like this is a game where you can look at Shiro, and he was a liability for Team Spirit, which doesn't happen often.
Yeah, cost him the game. I mean, pretty much with his performance, and it's not often that you can say that for Shiro, who I feel like had a good major, had good games in the playoffs against, you know, the best teams, which is not something that's usually the case, but it hasn't been a great start of the season for him. And, you know, there's no room for games like this for him if Spirit is going to have a deep run in this event.
Now, over on that B stream, we had Foot Tai Lu. That one ended out with Foot going on 13-10 in that best of one, so they locked that opener in as well. For us, we do have a little bit of a break. We can come back. We have G2 and M80 taking to the stage right now at the Esports World Cup in Paris. If you are in town, I invite you to come check it out because this place is pretty sweet. We'll be right back.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
it with the big producer, but I don't see her anywhere.
Kitty, you made it!
Oh wow, I made it to what?
To the best experience of your life. Come on inside. Come on.
I don't want to.
Come on, let's do it. Come.
Not after last time.
Okay, but what if I told you you were making perfume today?
Okay, I'm curious.
Come on, it's gonna smell so good. It's gonna be so pretty.
Yeah, okay.
I still smell a little bit like ketchup, but that's okay.
You deserved it.
Come on. Kitty, what makes me so sad is that the EWC is eventually going to end.
It's very sad indeed, but I am not sad about you going home.
But I do want something to bring home with me to kind of remember our time together and all the fun things that we got to do.
Oh yeah, we had so much fun.
I want to create a scent that truly captures esports. What do you think of when you smell esports?
Nothing really good, to be honest, like people sweating, being focused, keyboards that are not really clean. So yeah, that's what I think about.
And that's exactly the scent that I want to capture.
Why?
Esports.
Okay.
Esports.
I'm gonna start with the lavender one. Let's start with the base, okay?
Lavender, what is
Yeah.
that?
Are you kidding?
Is that an NPC?
It's not an NPC. It's like a flower.
But I think that for my base, I've actually been able to take a gaming headset used by players and distill down a lot of the dandruff and head lice into this concoction. This shall be my base. Woo! Take a whiff. I think some of the lice are still moving around in there.
I'm gonna put some vanilla in mine.
Some what?
Vanilla.
Isn't that for eating?
It's used for several things, you know?
Do you know where you get vanilla?
Yeah.
You actually get from a beaver's butt. When beavers fart, they have vanilla.
How do you come up with those things?
I just really love beavers. I've managed to capture KC fans' blood, sweat, and tears. This is the blue wall in blue tier form.
Oh my god. You're gonna get beat up after this.
Not after they smell my perfume.
You already made a disaster with that, so I'm gonna continue my beautiful perfume with, I think, some cassis.
Chassis? Like a robot.
No. Again, it's a fruit.
It's a fruit?
Yeah, you don't have that in America. It's fine.
I got Cheetos.
Yeah, I know.
But for my next part, I actually got the finger gloves of players. And we're just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of sweat.
Ew. That's atrocious.
Yeah, but it was from Team Spirit. It smells like victory.
It's not gonna bring victory into your life, trust me.
I found one of the jerseys from the team that's gone to 23 back-to-back tournaments. So what this smells like is pure failure, desperation, and yet some resolve.
Oh god. Overly wild.
Is it in? You can really smell the failure.
I have it right in front of me.
I managed to take one of the keyboards off the stage, and what I did was I removed all of the dead skin cells and food junk and crust, and I put it into this liquid form. But here's the thing, it is very potent, so we can only do... Oh, I missed.
Oh god. Don't do it!
Okay, I'm
You're
sorry.
disgusting.
I managed to take all of the Cheeto dust out of the controllers that were on the stage and create this. This couch cushion from one of the practice rooms. I heard that the players did not leave this baby for 24 hours straight. And so we got this beautiful essence. This is gonna be a fantastic perfume. I feel like we just gotta mix it up a little bit.
Oh god.
Smells amazing. You have no idea how amazing this smells. It smells like resolve. It smells like perseverance. It smells like desperation. It smells like esports.
Don't put it near me.
Just a little bit.
No.
Just, I promise.
I
Can you just try? Just try.
Oh! Ooh. It's disgusting.
That'll come off. I promise. That'll.
Oh god, don't touch me! Don't touch me! You're me off! Every day I come with her, every day she's something up.
Le esport.
キドキしようよ準備開脚早まだまだないこの世界を楽しんでみたんだ
Well, here we go. I got another best of one coming right up here at the Esports World Cup 2026 from Paris, France. That is right. We're over here in Europe. It's hot outside, but luckily we are inside of the air conditioner in a rather large venue hall, one in which we're going to see G2 taking on M80 right here. And it might be just a little bit closer than you might expect. Let me welcome you back. Hold on, Yanko. I got you. That's Yanko Paunovic. He's got a ton of accolades, most of them from inside the server, some from outside of the server. Y'all going to put respect on his name, as well as Jacob Pimp-Minicki. He lost 180 million kilos one time. So,
I just want to say, Trace, that was really impressive for an American to know like the country, the continent, and the city where they are. Now, if only you could point them out on a map, you get the #1 reward. No.
So like there was this landmass was all together at one point, right? And it's just kind of right there. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, you know, the entire history of the world, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, another best of one.
Yep.
In front of us, G2 versus M80. Considering the teams are from two different regions, it does feel like there's some history to the matchup. You know, we all remember the Pro League and the Malbs games and how G2 got them after those games. But yeah, I think for G2, obviously had a really good major. That series against Spirit was an absolute barn burner. You know, they had their chances to make it into the top 4, but then made I'm gonna say an unexpected roster change, really benching some Pius for Wrinkle out of all people. Like I don't know where they got this from, because Wrinkle on NIP, like that was just decision making on a tier 4 level, right? Like some of the plays he was making, like yeah, sure, there's some skill there, right? Potential to pop off, but that just didn't feel like he was ready to play on a tier 1 level.
I agree with you. Maybe it's Saw thinking, you know, I can get the kid straight. I can
fix him.
I can fix him. You know, and that's a dangerous thing to do when you enter a relationship, if that's your mindset. Speaking of personal experiences, I guess.
Well, let's really dive into that since we've got you here. We might as well just open that.
May as well not, you know. But looking at G2, I agree. I feel like that's more so if best case for me, that's a sidestep, you know. Maybe Wrinkle comes in and maybe he does a good job. Maybe he can find some sort of, you know, that potential that was kind of gone missing in NIP, but I don't see him performing much better than Son Payers. And as much as you want to criticize Son Payers for maybe not stepping up in some of the bigger moments and not having too many carry performance with the AWP, at least I knew what I got from him. He was stable, and he was, I guess, also a big part in terms of being the secondary voice within the team, etc., etc. So I do feel when I look at G2 now, when you make a roster change, I can almost always see the team thinking, okay, this is a better player, or we get this much out of him, or we move in this direction. For me, this is a great example of where I see a sidestep. You go from one player to another, and it's not moving up, it's not moving down, you're just moving to the side. And whether that's a good thing or not, I'm not quite sure.
It's strange because, you know, he was, I don't want to say coach's pet, but he's been with Saw for a long time on different rosters. Nerds also a member of that little trio, like felt like he meshed well with the rest of the players outside the server. So, you know, it has to come down to just stylistically they felt they needed a different sort of an AWPer, right? Like they needed a more aggressive AWPer, a guy who's going to maybe be more active, more dynamic. And you do get that in Wrinkle, but again, like the sort of the inconsistencies you also get along with him. Like he's gonna have to improve by a lot compared to what he's shown in NIP for this change to really compute on the server.
Yes, I mean, for some of these benchmarks, we can keep looking back at Cologne. For a team like G2 that found themselves through Cologne, we've got words from Heavy God where he's talking about it feels better. It's feeling right. It's feeling like it's way better than it was. How do you follow up on that now that the player breaks over? How do you grab back onto this momentum that you felt like you might have had?
I've voiced it a couple of times leading into this tournament. To me, G2 is one of the teams to look out for because they need to break through into that, I guess, next level for me. They've been circling around being maybe 6th, 7th, 8th, you know, making the playoff at the major as well was a step in the right direction. Could have won that game, you know, could have won that quarterfinal and made it into a semifinal, and who knows what would have happened from that moment. They have a lot of quality on their players as well. Heavy God is a great example. I think he's arguably one of the best in the world at his job, you know, in his position. Hunter as an in-game leader, again, a bit of a question mark to me. I feel like he's moving in the right direction. I think he's proven himself to be a decent in-game leader. Can he be a great in-game leader? I'm not quite sure. Same goes for Mattis as well. Decent player. Can he be a great player? I feel like there's a lot of maybe untapped potential within G2, and I feel the next 6 months, especially the second part of this season, is going to be vital to how I perceive G2. Are they going to be stuck, you know, just being 7th, 8th, 9th best in the world, or can they content the Navis, the Spirits, the Falcons of the world, and be in that caliber of a team?
That's been the problem for this lineup ever since sort of they lost Nico and Monacy. For the most part, it's been can't beat the top 5 teams. Like they can't beat the contenders teams. Obviously, there was that one London tournament where they won and beat Vitality in a best of 5 last year. But outside of that, like that's been the struggle. And in the last couple of tournaments, some really good wins, right? Obviously, beating Navi to get into the playoffs. But you want to be able to do that on a consistent level, and then that's the goal for this G2 lineup.
Yeah, and consistently we talk about the G2 lineup, and it seems like for G2 and M80, both these teams have that capability, that propensity to find themselves in a bracket and ruin it for someone else, but then also fumble at the very end of the goal line there. Hey, so for the side of G2, hearing what they've got to say before we jump into this matchup, it's way more important than your average 6-7.
Welcome to EWC, Wrinkle. We were just talking about it. Obviously, you played back at Blast Bounty, but that was online. How comfortable are you feeling with G2 now coming onto LAN?
I think we're feeling pretty comfortable. Like it was online Bounty, but let's see how it is on LAN. I think we're good.
What was the biggest thing you learned online during Bounty?
I don't think it's about online. It's about like getting into the system, feeling comfortable. And yeah, I mean, I'm feeling much better than I was in the start.
How much of a different system is it to what you're used to in this G2?
I mean, it is pretty different. It's not that complicated. You just need to learn a lot of stuff. But yeah, it is really good with these people, and yeah, everything is amazing.
And how much input are you able to have just in terms of your experience and your role? How much are they kind of telling you how you should be playing? Can you tell me about that balance?
I think we're trying to ping pong. Of course, I'm a bit of an aggressive player, but first I want to implement into their system, and then, yeah, as I said, we can ping pong, and I can try to bring my own stuff.
Totally makes sense. We were just talking about it as well. You've had a little bit of a break prior to Blast Bounty. It was all the way back in April that you were playing officials with the team. Can you tell me how you were staying fresh, staying in the zone between April and now?
I was grinding a lot of deathmatch, a lot of faces. I mean, I was just really playing. I wasn't really taking break of CS. I started hitting gym because, like, you know, it's hard to sit 12, 15 hours at PC, so gym really helped with this. But yeah, I was just playing that much, grinding. All I could do.
Sounds like a very good balance you're striking there. Let's talk about your opponent here today. It's M80 up first here at EWC. How much do you know about them and the style they like to play?
I mean, I wouldn't say about the style. We shouldn't underestimate them. They're good players, good team, and yeah, let's hope we can show good CS.
Just in terms of being here in Paris, we were just chatting about it as well. You've only been here in the city once before. You're very excited to be here. What are the goals for the team, for G2, coming into EWC?
I mean, our goal is just to enjoy a game and basically show what we are capable of, show good Counter-Strike, and that's it.
Thank you so much for your time, Wrinkle. Good luck versus M80.
Yeah, M80 on the other side of things, which is where we can kind of pick this one up, unless you want to derive from that. Yanko, you look like you're chomping at a bit, they say.
No, I just want to say, like, when Freya asked him, what were you up to, and like, I was playing a lot of deathmatch, I was staying in shape. It's like, maybe watch some more demos instead of playing deathmatch. I think that's where you could extract some more value if you're Wrinkle at the moment.
Yeah. Jacob, you want to follow that one up, or are you good, bud?
I'd listen to my coach.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. I like when you listen to what we're saying out here. Speaking of what I'm about to say has to do with M80. That's because we're looking at a side where Swisher and company have found successes in the past. They found a way to, no pun intended, be a wrinkle in somebody else's side.
They annoy me. They really do annoy me, right?
Yeah, kind of being a wrinkle.
Why is that?
Because it's a team where you look at the paper, you look at some of the results and some of the tournaments they've been in, and you think, okay, there's potential. They can play good Counter-Strike. They have series against good teams where you think to yourself, you shouldn't be as competitive as you are, and then it never really manifests. Like, there's no consistency within the lineup. I was just looking up as well. Now, thank God this is a best of one, but they haven't won a best of 3 against a European team since March, I believe, this year, which is almost 6 months ago, despite having plenty of opportunities at doing so. So it's a team that I feel we constantly label as maybe they're the next big thing coming out of NA, and maybe they're going to figure it out, and maybe they're going to do well, but they never really seem to manifest. They do okay, but never better than okay. So it's kind of like a light version of G2 without being good.
Do you know how they made it here?
Please do tell.
NA qualifier. You know how they made it to Porto? NA qualifier. Know how they're going to be at Pro League Trace?
NA qualifier.
NA qualifiers. So they're just benefiting off of the absolute state of North America at the moment. They're beating teams like Boca for, you know, a spot at this event. So I think they are fortunate that the situation is what it is, where they get these opportunities, but that's not going to last forever, right? Like at some point they need to get some wins, get some results when they're at these tier 1 events, so they can break into the invite bubble for events that don't have NA qualifiers, right? Or qualifiers of any kind. And yeah, that could maybe start happening here at EWC.
Yeah, and for a team like M80, kind of like breaking that threshold of being considered amongst the best of the best, being able to sort of consistently maintain your position there, how much work are they going to have to put in to even get close to that?
Well, a lot of work, but that's part of the reason why they annoy me as well, because I feel they've shown it before, right? That they are a decent Counter-Strike team, and there is some decent players within that lineup. Take Lake, for an example, you know, being, you know, labeled as, okay, he's the next big thing coming out of NA Counter-Strike, and I like the way he plays on the server, in your face, aggressive, but he's very too inconsistent, and that goes for the entirety of the team. That I see potential, but I don't see a team that is able to replicate the good performance over and over and over, and I'll even give them excuse for it. I think playing and practicing in NA makes it virtually impossible to find any sort of consistency, because you can't really get consistently good practice, so I'll give them that excuse, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm always left a little bit disappointed, because I expect more from M80. I think they're a good team. I think they have good quality players, but Counter-Strike, as you said, the fact they play NA qualifiers, the fact they stay a lot in NA and practice against NA teams is kind of evening out the playing field, despite them maybe potentially being better than big.
I think that's the bigger problem, is like their only way to get to these tournaments is to play those qualifiers, but to do that they have to go back to NA, right, to not play with a gazillion ping to be able to win those games, but then you're losing out on potentially being in Europe, like boot camping and just getting better at the game. So it's like this, damned if you do, damned if you don't, but eventually they're gonna have to figure it out. Like you also wonder, I mean, what's their ceiling with these players? Like I don't think they have bad players, but they don't have anyone that stands out massively, right? It's all these guys can pop off here and there, but usually like when they win games against better teams, it's by committee, right? Like it's everyone delivering, it's perhaps outplaying them as a team, right? Like that's been the recipe for success for M80.
Well, I think we can jump in and kind of figure out what map we're going to play at the very minimum. There's plenty of talking points, I guess, from either side, but in terms of a best of one, anything you guys want to forecast?
I think what's just interesting is neither of these teams plays Nuke, so then G2 was one of the teams that was hurt by the map pool change, right? Like they were getting pretty good on Overpass, and now it gets removed and Cash gets added in. So we'll see. And the major they played in stage 2 in the opening game, it was Mirage. There's a chance we see it again.
That's the thing, right? You can play chicken with the Nuke you're not interested in if you're a G2 apparently, so they remove it straight away. But given it's a best of one, it's always going to be that middle pack of the map. I'm curious to see if Cash has been integrated to any of these two teams. As you said, G2 maybe hurt a bit by Overpass being removed, but I don't know, playing Cash in a best of one in your opening game at a tournament that is that important for G2, it should have been good in practice if that's the case then.
Yeah, and I think when we see it between Cash and Mirage in the end and seeing how the last game went, I don't think G2, you know, goes for it at this point in time, and we do see Mirage as our go-to here.
Yeah, I like that, you know, a map where both teams are comfortable. Also one of the maps where M80 have had big victories against European opposition, so they can definitely put up a good fight here against G2. It's not as one-sided as we just saw with Spirit and GGHow, where you're like, okay, it's supposed to be Spirit winning 13-5, but I'm gonna be completely honest, regardless of the map, regardless of the context of this game, it's a game where I feel G2 should come in and win quite convincingly. I'd be disappointed if that's not the case.
Yeah, and last time it was a 10-2 CT side, really, that propelled G2 onto a comfortable win on Mirage. I'm just gonna watch Wrinkle, man. I just want to see, like, what is it? Was the situation in NIP really terrible? So he was like checked out, which also, I mean, isn't a good thing if that was the case. But it's like, what did you see in him? Because G2 is like knocking on the contender level, right? Like they're right there, and you change your Opera, which is such a huge position on any team, right? And you bring in a guy that hasn't really shown that much against weaker opposition on a weaker team, right? So it's a very, very strange move for me. So I want to see like what is it that he's going to do that's caused G2 to pick him up.
It's not to beat a dead horse, but I'll do it anyway because I feel like it's
Right, well.
yeah, but that's the way it is. The uppers market in Counter-Strike right now has never been weaker than it is. You know, it's very tough if you're a top team with aspirations to sign a good, proper AWP player that can change the course of your team. There's the Monacies of the world. There's the Cyru. There's the Shiro. You name it. Moldoy maybe in that category as well. Shiro, maybe on the fence. He was great at the major. Not so great a couple of moments ago. But outside of that, I feel like the uppers market in Counter-Strike has never been worse off, right? So if you're G2 and you're trying to change something or you want a different style of upping, then you can't really pick an upgrade for some players. The best you can do is maybe a sidestep, which is even maybe giving Wrinkle a bit more credit than he deserves so far, right? So I'm not sure he's as good as some players just yet, but this would be a great occasion to showcase.
Well, gentlemen, hold the phone because it is time to play the game. And if you do have your phone in your hand, you're probably watching the game. So don't put it down. Don't do any of that. We're ready to jump into it. We're looking at M80 and G2 going toe-to-toe on Mirage.
Well, from GG Howe's win earlier to GG2 getting ready to take on M80. I shoehorned that one in a little bit, Hugo, but
tried.
We've had a string of exciting games to kickstart this EWC run. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, let's have one more. Why not? I mean, this one, you know, historically, when I think of this like head-to-head on Orgs, I always think back to, you know, the Malbs days, the Pro League, the Device Car, so many good memories. But of course, two very different-looking rosters right now, at least more so on the G2 side of things. We obviously have Wrinkle in the server. For G2, a surprising change, I think we can all agree, after their run at the Major. I mean, they were just moments away with multiple opportunities to beat Spirit in that quarterfinal and make quite a run back in Cologne, but G2 still wanted that change. They get rid of a very vocal Sung Pius, a guy who showed up in stages but not always in the easier games, you could say, and now they look to make many are calling it a side grade, Harry. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a little bit weird because it did feel like Sung Pius was on a bit of an uptick, you know, but if the kind of wheels were already in motion, if they saw something in Wrinkle that they thought, you know, he could bring to the table that maybe Sung Pius lacked, yeah, you know.
It feels like one of those changes that unless, you know, someone comes out in an interview and talks, we won't really know the reasons.
Yeah,
it's probably more stuff outside of what we're seeing in the server. And so
I think that's kind of, you know, that's like the biggest question mark around the whole move. Is like you look at it and you go, yeah, there must be some reason they've done it, but it's not like you look and you go, that's a clear and present upgrade, especially when it did kind of feel like Sung Pius is coming into his own within the G2 squad.
Absolutely. And so
yeah, I think, you know, there's going to be, justifiably so, eyeballs on Wrinkle in his early outings in this G2 squad. You want to see it kind of paying off. You want to see why the change was made.
Yeah,
and so, you know, you want him in good form.
For a while, he was a big prospect, right? He was an up-and-comer.
Well, yeah, we were excited for a long time about this guy.
Very flashy, someone who we thought could be, you know, a household name eventually, but never really stuck the landing on that. 3 years in bait, a bit of an underwhelming time in NIP, but that was NIP kind of across the board.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, his biggest task yet, his best team yet, pieces around him that are capable and dependable. So excited to see whether that can raise his floor and or ceiling as well.
You are dead on, right? It's been kind of years of the grind, and eventually, you know, you can't be potential man forever. You finally get a chance now in a top squad with very experienced players all around you. This is where, like, if you're Wrinkle, you have to show you've got what it takes. You can hang.
Yeah, and I think pretty forgiving opening game to play up against M80 as well. Obviously on the kind of upper echelons of NA right now, but that's mainly because NA have been struggling, right? M80, they had a decent major, I think you could say. They at least made it out of stage one, didn't do too much past that point, but kept on going. Same roster, new goals, new season, whatever M80 got in store in this German-American mix.
Lake and Swisher don't know it, but around this corner is a setup feeling custom-made to deal with them. Two players ready to duel for the lower control, but they don't hang around. There is no one on B for G2. Only now remedying that, pulling Hunter over, but it's about as passive as you can get. They are ready for an A play.
That's quite a bluff you're calling. I mean, you're not retaking that side if they charge it. Natis gets out. Nerds tries to provide the cover, but this A execute is getting set up, and a commitment from Lake sees him dead in this pistol round. 4v5 as a tease swarm.
Oh, Slacks and Sin. It's the German contingent to open up in this pistol, and they're going to carry that momentum forward. Rest of the squad in behind them. Bomb makes it safely across. Jaber
Nice.
hanging out a little, gives one away to Hunter. Didn't elect to go for the bomb plant, still feeling that pressure with no one in CT. And so now it gets a little more awkward for M80. They try and assemble a boost. Swisher doesn't like what he sees. Nerds has found one and a tag through the body. Ranko giving this one away. This was a 4v2 for M80. I know where both players are. They're going to have a bomb plant at least, but closing in quickly is Hunter. And that is a rough pistol round out of M80. 4v2 for a moment. Feel like they're in full control and end up giving it away.
That's what happens when you don't take anything in a pistol round, right? Look at that round. They get the double entry on CT. They have smoke down jungle. You got to take CT control. Once they have that, they have a staging platform to plant. Instead, the whole time, they're paranoid CT. All of G2 are jungle, and M80 don't know that. The smoke fades. They're stuck in default. Great push from Hunter in that 2v2. He knows they're both site, keeps the pressure on, no bomb plants. G2 played that really well, but I feel like M80 got a little bit too shaky after getting those entries. They made that a 4v3 in their favor very quickly and didn't jump on it. Now just Glocks out. They pay the price. We wait for the third round. Nertz is rubbing off on Wrinkle because he's got the MP7 as well.
And I am going to be keeping a close eye on Nerds in these games because, you know, you think back to the major and he was like an all or nothing, and more often than not, nothing kind of player. Like, had some really, really rough games for G2 in there. You'd occasionally get like the old signs of life where he would suddenly start popping off, but for the most part, I think it was a little underwhelming. And, you know, now you're on the other side of the break. You hope he's kind of put some hours in, had a bit more time to adjust. Because you know what he is capable of. You know what Nerds can do to take over a server. I just don't think we've quite seen him at his absolute peak since joining the G2 ranks.
Definitely agree. It's been a tumultuous time for him and his swap of Malbs. Both of them having trouble before and after the change. But ultimately both looking, I think, more comfortable in their new teams. Underdrop, but with that smoke down, Lake is going to be cautious. And you can spam Nerds out here. They look to just walk right through. Oh, jumping up, Lake, wrong side. Is he jumping into him right now? He might be. Nerds is right above his head, and there's the fade that provides that opening kill. You shouldn't be ready for Swisher, but Nerds still looks aware.
Oh, Wrinkle on the
Lovely.
MP7 puts it to work. Jaber and Sin don't get an inch of ground, and that's the bomb away from M80. Swisher with one in the back line. Is that going to do a lot to change your fortune, though? Because he's got two players looking his way. Slack's now trying to work his way out through Palace, and it ends in a really awkward stalemate.
Oh, God. Molly pushes him in, and that's the round. So well handled by Wrinkle. MP7 mow down on the ramp. It's one way to kick off this game here for G2. Orpa making some money early. It's going to bring that right out, even into this eco round. M80 have not got a bomb plant yet. Not necessarily. Made these rounds close. And so a little half by something quicker, more direct. So they don't have the weaponry to long out mid-control. Just Sin top mid. Bomb will join him. G2 look like they're willing to fight for this. Nerd saw something. And back they go, G2 concede.
I mean, I'm liking the tone that kind of G2 have set off the rip, right? You turn around a 2v4 in the pistol, and then they've just kind of been gun-ho from that point on. They've been super keen to fight, down to try and scrap early. It's what you want to see from the favorites in this head-to-head. Now, Lake has found a bit of a window here on the boost.
Hello.
That's a free kill lying in wait, and he knows it. So gonna call for that bomb to move back around through the apartments.
Ooh, Hunter's in apps though. Where's he gone? Lake just catches him. Okay, gonna move out of his vision. Make sure he can guarantee this kill clean. Oh, Mattis saw him. Did Mattis see him? No. Lake's still in position, but he might still get caught. It's dangerous on either side. He needs his kill. He's going to get it. Matt is now in the middle of the madness. They just charge him down through that smoke. That could have gone wrong so many times, but Lake has put them in with a round.
You saw him actually threw everything off for Mattis, right? Just didn't know where to go, didn't know where was safe. The entire setup in this awkward bit of uncertainty, and the Tech-9s are quick to move in.
Will you?
Kill. I wonder if that beckons you in for this. Time's already ticking away. You're going into a setup M80. And G2 decide they want no part in it.
It's fair. You know, you could argue winnable, but just keep your guns. Don't give them any more. They've already won the eco. G2 prioritizing the percentages here. But M80 do get on the board. Lovely little window gap there found by Lake. I mean, they went for a high-risk boost where he's just completely in the open boosting up, but who would do that with no window smoke down? Risk pays off here for M80.
Something a bit more fiery here, out towards middle, right into the wrinkle AWP. But it wasn't just one man alone up through the short side. It's a full split, and Hunter's caught out in the open. There was a big gap over in middle with that con smoke down. Hunter looked none the wiser. And this gets kind of awkward now. Nades wasted on this smoke too.
Gotta go.
That's gonna try and lead them in for it.
Oh, imagine someone peeked on these flashes.
They were all blocking each other there. Just a traffic jam at the door. Nerds on the board. One more man out towards the short side. Nerds playing it forward. Heavy God closing in. Won't get past Sin. And Nerds is doing all he can on this retake. But left out on his own in the bomb site. He can go no further. M80 back-to-back successful rounds at the B site.
Dude, Nerds is feeling it. We wondered what form we'd get coming into this game. He's 9-1. He's hitting every shot. But even though Wrinkle got the 5v4, didn't seem like that fear that they could charge short was communicated across. He saw a player come through that top mid smoke, then the smoke bloomed. Felt like you've got to be motor-mouthing the comms there, letting Hunter know the solo B player with no short support, that they can be on you right now. Hunter's getting pressured from the apartments, but doesn't even consider that they're up cat. So feel like the comms let him down in that position. And to be honest, all Hunter needs to do is either buy time back site or get one kill, and I think G2 are in with a really good shot of winning that round.
Yeah, there were certainly a couple of examples of where the comms looked a little off, even down to something as minor, like on the micro level of like both players nading the smoke open in market. That could have afforded you a whole second shot on the AWP in the first place.
Yeah,
didn't look like they communicated the gap in mid properly either.
It's just so quick for a player to be doing that with the con smoke coming down as well. It feels obvious that they're doing something far short. M80 are happy about it though. They do convert another post spawn on this B bomb site. And now walking out ramp, gap found. Sin's got a kill here. Ooh.
Wrinkle will get one, but the entries coming through for M80.
All right, Wrinkle, time to shine.
Hoping for this sight line out towards CT. Their own smoke almost being used against them. Nades on it to break. Don't net anything
Huge.
for this AWP. And with Lake cleaning up the late lurk for Mattis out through mid, it's just eyes on CT for M80.
One shot, one nade, and Swisher goes down. Got to be very careful. That cross now smoked. Hunter can get into this bomb site. Lake got a gap. No one overcommitting. That bomb plant open. Lake wants to play last. Swisher is a dead man walking, but he finds a shot over the smoke. And Rinko, again, it's just more exits as these rounds are not piling up in his favor. They're going to come looking for this AWP as well. Slacks is hungry. But Wrinkle won't move a muscle as M80 find their third round. All right, he's hit all his shots. You got to give him that. But unfortunately, round wins are not yet a factor for Wrinkle.
I think as well, like, after losing out on the short timing in the round prior to last, they're missing his timing on the ramp peak. Like, it's a little rough. Like you say, hitting all of his shots, but just been the victim of some rough timings here. Some pacey rounds out of M80. And you don't want that to rub off when your AWP is 8-1.
M80 are starting to get a read for the game, calling that fast B pop, catching G2 off guard, walking out ramp, same thing. It's in with a nice couple calls in a row. We see something more default in round 7. Late mid control, faking under. G2 with a setup out of spawn, pushed on the ramp. And Wrinkle, eyes on middle to a degree from the connector. He's going to get smoked. Still see that short cross, but not for long. M80 smoke it, they go back for B.
Again, just a high-tempo round. Mattis, this time lying in wait, able to catch one from the back of the ranks, and Hunter much more prepared for this split.
Oh.
And so this time, you don't get any freebies catching G2 out of position.
How's he here?
Mattis is even closed in, and they are not ready for that. Bomb dropped out in the open. Swisher would love to buy some time, but G2 aren't making that easy for him. There's a big flank right now for Slacks.
Nice try.
Closing in on this backstab, but he's got 15 seconds. He's going to need both of these kills, and he needs them cleanly. Ooh. Transfer denied. Nerds keeps it all in check for G2, and lead maintained.
Oh, that's rough, man. Poor Swish. He did everything he could to hide at back B, but he just knew eventually you got to take a fight. There's 3 players locking him down in that backside corner. He is in trouble. Shame that M80 lose track of Mattis. He gets his kill and just walks right back into the bomb site. No one from short even considering it, but G2 keep the pressure on and look again to deny bomb plants. They do not let that clutch happen either. Nerds continues on his great start to the game at 10-2 and 9-2 on him and Wrinkle respectively. Couple of stars shining bright here for G2 as M80 call attack. And no wonder, look at this money spread, 6K to 1.4. Gonna have to share.
Slacks is going to try his hand on this peak with the AWP out towards middle. But G2 not fighting for this space. A bit of a B lean here for G2. They've got Wrinkle holding on to the apartments. Double short setup for Hunter and Mattis. So you'd like to think ready to clamp down on a mid-take.
Ready to pounce. Hunter's going to get his wish as the fight, but it's all a bait for Slacks on short. Or caught. Slacks hits that shot. Headshot will not stop him. 3 on 5, but there's still pistols in play. Don't count G2 out of a heroic round. Denied to the stairwell. They'll go back to B. Wrinkle's waiting. His chance to win.
Yeah, I've been waiting to have a round-defining multi-kill for Wrinkle. He's had a bunch of multis in the game.
Are they going to go back A? Look at Palace.
They're thinking about it. Jaber might have heard a rotate away. They move back around. It's only Heavy God out towards the spawn. Bomb planted. Heavy God goes and plays 7 seconds as they try and plug in the numbers again.
Wrinkle.
Arriving on short is Wrinkle. Plant denied. And G2, they make that one feel very, very comfortable, denying the bomb plant twice over. It all gets too chaotic for M80 after the bomb drop.
A horrible plant position, fully wide, fully open. They're a safe plant, you know. They're just scared of jungle. They're scared of everything. M80 make such a late rotation. They don't know where is safe. Massive kill from Heavy God, and damn, dude, Wrinkle's looking really good. Gets that shot off on the bomb planter, and is still ready and waiting for the re-push on short. Wrinkle hitting hard at the moment, 11-2. Winning the round this time. That was a 5v3 given to you by Slacks, wasted by M80. And this one's going nowhere.
Oh, it's fine. That's
Have
what you're
faith.
telling yourself. It's all well and good. They
Good
would love
volley.
the plant, but I think Jaber's dead. And so, yeah, no worries there for G2.
Ooh.
I mean, look, considering how tense you felt a couple of rounds ago when this was all tied up at 3-all, G2 could still be onto a monstrous CT half. Have a chance just to keep pressing the advantage here, as it's all in for M80. And you're kind of seeing some of these gaps that they were able to find early on are getting closed now by G2. They've warmed up to the idea to watch out for these fast short takes. They know they're getting some very explosive rounds out of M80.
Oh, nice. Nuts cannot get out of the window in time. Wrinkle new position. Versus a pistol, though. Gonna have to be quick. Heavy God trying to retrieve Nurse's weapon. Knows they like a window boost. M80 always do. Like a double window boost, even. Not in this round. It's just back to A contact. Swisher late.
3 players coming his way. First one gonna land, but Wrinkle's got to play for some distance here because it's not just one man lurking through the palace. Trying to back up, they'll swing out and deal with him. It's Sin and Slacks with the openers. And with Mattis so far removed from this round, it looks like M80 have done enough.
I love how they bait Jaber there, right? Knowing he's the Palace lurker, Wrinkle gets that kill, he immediately falls off. A connector player plays, cluttering the comms for G2, and he thinks he's gotten rid of the lurk, that he's not even begin to uncover what M80 are doing. There's been some awkward rounds in this game for M80, but I think they've also had some really well-called ones. It's going to put a 4th on the board. And with this one save, everyone can buy for G2 for the last couple of rounds here. So M80 not going too cold on us. Because it's really hard to place this team, right? Like, you know, kind of falling out of the top 20, top 30, kind of roaming around the upper echelons of NACS. And on a good day, we know these guys hit really hard and have some phenomenally talented players, but their floor has continually let them down at big events. Seeing plenty of early group exits. Pace behind this push, finds a 1-for-1 on Swisher, causes chaos on that B side, but that's not the objective for M80. And G2 know well. Wrinkles even rotating out of B. So again, numbers will be in the right place.
There we go, breathing a little easier now that he's been able to convert on that kill. And set up for the swing out through Palace. Slacks and Sin, man, it's these two just constantly being a nuisance in these A plays. Wrinkle trying to back up, put a bit of distance between himself and the ramp player. That bomb is going back.
Hunter, stay here, and you've won the round, I think. This is a hard position to clear. Going to group on the catwalk, but Hunter will be able to hear this and play in the post plant. It's not the most shocking position here for M80, but Hunter can choose when he wants to take this fight.
Molly's good. Oh, and there's the tick. That's info for M80. Hunter's trying to go pretty quickly here. Smoke on the Molly. Waits for a couple more seconds, and Wrinkle arrives, but he's dead at the door. Hunter's got to do this one all alone. Swings out wide, can't finish the job. And as the captains clash, it's Sin coming out ahead. M80 with a chance to split the half.
A nice mid-round again. You know, they get out of a very precarious position. It's actually advantages for G2. 4v3. Heavy God gets out, and M80 still decide to reset after seeing that open the A bomb side. Wrinkle clearly proving to be a bit of a threat, but well avoided by M80 for the most part in this game, despite his KD being incredible. It's not actually contributing to as many round wins as you might think. But that's thanks to M80. They've done a great job of avoiding him. Fast up short again, and no one home.
Hunter this time able to get a bit of util out. Just trying to buy time for Heavy God. They know they have him closing in on this fast backstab, but a turn from the Apps man. Swisher gets eyes on, and all the kills come through in a second for M80.
What a sick nade from the Apps player to pop that open. Just ruined Hunter's round there. Felt like he could have done something with the SMG up close. This one, well, you know where it's going. Matt is straight into the crosshair, and that is M80 leveling out at halftime. Very nice recovery, kind of twofold in that game. They get converted on pistol against them, then they win 3 straight. G2 wake back up, and M80 still string 3 together. Cannot complain at all when you have a couple of stars shining bright here for G2. Definitely made the most of a T-side of Mirage.
I think also you just like how you're winning those rounds, right? Like whenever we spoke to M80 in the past, they always give Sin kind of credit whenever he makes like a nice read, a nice move, and there were a bunch of them there in that first half. It felt like they constantly found gaps in the G2 defense, constantly making the right move. And I think rounds like that just give you even more confidence going forward. You know, you were the guys kind of exploiting any minor gaps that G2 left open all half long, it felt like.
Full A attack and full retake for M80. They do have a kit, perfectly viable. James going to get mollied in the window. He does have for the cross at least. Concedes for a CT spawn. CT spawn, the G2 own. It's a nice smoke. And it forces M80 back into the jungle.
I mean, if you remember, M80's T-side pistol, they were 4v2, but they didn't take any space, and they ended up losing it, right? Here, G2 not looking to make that same mistake. They've taken CT away. They have Palace and Ramp in these post plants. This will not be an easy round to try and recover for M80. Into the meat grinder. These pistols up close. Defuse not being held as Sin's forced wide into the 1v4.
Yeah.
And so G2 with both pistols on Mirage.
Yeah, I mean, he got off the bomb. You can criticize it in the sense of like it was his only option, but we saw where those shots are landing for the Glocks. I don't think he would have made it through with 5 seconds. Got a couple in before he realized what was going on. And so really nice hold here from Rinko in the post spawn. Big impact in that pistol. Glocks up close. What can you do? It's a great land debut here for Rinko. 17-6. And I feel bad even just saying, like, yeah, a lot of those were exit kills, but they were. But now we can really get rolling. G2 T side looking to bring pace. Lots of nades. Triple molly.
Flash through for M80, trying to instill a bit of chaos here. But they go into a prepared and ready G2.
That's a super clean execute. Look at what they throw. Jungle stairs smoke, CT smoke. Then they molly under Balk, sandwich, and triple. Where are you meant to play?
Kind of left it that the only thing you really had to worry about was a smoke push, and that's why they're so prepared for it.
Really nice second round because, like, you know, if the CTs are forcing and those rounds are very losable on Mirage to CT force buys, even an A stack is very common. But I just think when you molly that many positions and you smoke off that many positions, what are you dealing with? MP9s in the open on default on top Balk? Like, it's very manageable because G2 are all together. Yes, it's fast, but the trade potential is extremely high. So I think you're not even worried about an A stack when you run around like that. Good time to pull that out for G2. We're going to have a full eco here for M80. All right, little tower. See Cat as well as Con. It's Uto into middle. Going to try something else.
I mean, Nertz is kind of rolling with his signature SMG. Just let him go feast. Let him go make some money, get the ecos, catch up with Wrinkle.
Well, they might come stumbling into this B site. Con and window smoked off. Sin knows what that means. Or will he just go reinforce his team? So even with a stack, these are default pistols for the most part. And that bomb is not committed. They're going to see it quickly. Slack spotted. How many numbers do they know? It's all 5.
Good jump for Heavy God. Lands the transfer, and now you're no longer worried. Him and Wrinkle pulling through for G2.
There's more strong util for G2, burning out backside, clearing 2 players with that Molotov. Clean stuff. No stress yet in this half for G2.
Well, I mean, you know, we've been talking about Wrinkle. Slacks, I think, has also found a lot of impact on his AWP. He gets to don that now. CT side brings it out straight away. Wrinkle's got his.
20-6, man.
Has a good spawn, so might look to try and fight mid with this.
No window smoke is going to keep you here. That molly actually goes under, so he's still fine for peeking middle. His team will join him on cap, but this is again G2 going for a call out of spawn, another execute into a bomb site. You swing stairs, you're dead to this Wrinkle orb. Jaber keeps it tight for now. Wrinkle scopes in and looks for this entry, but he is caught by the flash peek.
Still, here's this util coming in. Spam for Lake, finds a good chunk of damage, but no kill on it. And again, G2 just go looking for that space out towards CT. They really don't wait long to get into these post plants, do they, right? Player already over towards kind of ramp side. You got a guy in Palace and CT control. Again, similar to the pistol, this is going to be real rough for M80.
Do they want it that bad?
I think you're really weighing it up right now. It feels like you're already out of the round.
Time is so far gone. G2 could be anywhere, and in fact, that is the call for M80 out of there with their guns. Going to try and catch G2 chasing in CT. Slacks is only the bait here. 2 more players in position to punish. I just love how execute heavy this T-side is for G2. They've come in and they have just run 4 executes in a row to run away with this half.
And dude, you were dead on in terms of, you know, kind of the staging of that round, the lack of the window smoke, keeping eyeballs on middle for way longer while G2 went and set up for the A play. Like, everything's very, very intentional. Even a late window smoke going in. So if you were thinking about shifting off of mid, you don't. They ended up mollying top boxes. It all just served to delay the rotate that much more and kind of kept M80 out of position. G2 were giving them kind of such a good offer in mid being that open and that fightable that of course M80 took it. They kind of took the bait.
And even then, Jaber goes over stairs and still kills Wrinkle on the best timing, gets that 5v4. It's just so swiftly traded. And G2, because they're running these executes with 4 or 5 players, are just really hot on the trades. Their spacing is tight. They've walked into stacks. They've had no problem. It's been a really reassuring half, and it might just go past us very quickly here. Is it already in the rear view for M80? 10-6 up. Fall by again off of the save. They're running out of chances. Wrinkle supporting in middle, while Hunter gets in place.
Nice move for Jaber, because again, it's G2 trying to pull the wall over the eyes of M80, get them out of position, get them worrying about mid while you kind of set up over towards B. But Jaber looks to ruin all of that with this backstab.
Oh yeah, the bomb is at the back. This could be a big problem. Wrinkle's running back right now. This is the round, but second guess, is it? Doesn't matter either way. This is going to be a free kill. Bomb top mid. The round is in jeopardy.
I mean, look at the task ahead of G2 now. You got to go back, got to go get this bomb back under your control, and then recommit to a site. You got 50 seconds left, and Jaber is still walking around their backline. They need this kill, and really, you want it cleanly. Trade might have to do, because he's got the full element of surprise on that first man in. Heavy God will at least live up to his half of the bargain, but now 30 seconds, and your round starts anew. A man down, 2 on 3. They're trying to go as quick as they can, but they're going into a stack.
This is a great setup as well. We got Slacks' AWP in position in time. He can take a quick shot. That bomb crosses in with the smoke, but Slacks still gets one more, and Sin swings off the Molotov. Another well-placed bit of util, but it does nothing to stop M80 in that B site. Both players fight for the round, and they get out with it. Thank you, Jaber, very much. Double kill, top, middle, and the bomb. A massive move to make here, deep in the game, that keeps M80 in the conversation. Ooh, we didn't bargain for that.
All right, Mattis looking aware.
See ya.
Spots the player up on balcony, and with that, 2 clean kills on the entry. The victories might be short-lived for M80. No heroics in this round. Just a contact play out the ramp side, and Mattis gets all the reward for it.
I might be wrong here, but did Jaber get baited on Palace by like pre-fire, or was he playing that, you know, sort of smoke bug?
Yeah.
And I think the T-Palace player swung and then came back knowing about the bug. I think that was all just like a dance of, we both know what you're doing, and which forced Jaber's shot, gave away his position, gave the ramp player the kill. That's really funny if so. The mind games on display.
I think that's kind of been like the bread and butter for this T side thus far for G2. It's like, force the reaction you want out of M80, the reaction you can anticipate, and then shut it down. You know, they got exactly what they wanted out of Jaber over towards Palace. I agree. It did feel like that, right? Thinking he's using that little angle where you can see players crossing, use that to get the info, and deal with him straight away.
Also, another bouquet to Wrinkle because, you know, Slacks gets that 5v4 window, Wrinkle posts ramp, and he reads the reposition. If Slacks rotates in CT, he 4v4s them. So, great shot from Wrinkle to open up that A site. G2 immediately respond. M80 have one more buy in them.
And you know that their best round came from the info that Jaber was able to get. So feeling like they can't fly so blind here, they try and fight for this mid control. And Nertz is going to get dealt with first. Lake,
give it up
with a great round here. Opener into lower tunnels and a follow-up out in the top mid.
Oh no, that's careful. You wouldn't expect G2 to just walk it down the guts of middle. With no nades down, Mattis makes it up, but it's still traded by Slacks. A high-risk play that almost pays massively for G2, but now has left them in a 2v4. Not sure how you get out of this one, but middle seems to be the port of call. No smokes remain.
Swisher out here in the connector, man. It could get a little nerve-wracking if he falls. Not like Jaber's in the best position to try and trade that. He'll just be tucking in and playing for later. Thankfully, Swisher, no worries there. Deals with them both. And so, yeah, we get to find out what would have happened if G2 get that kill.
It's a very out there position. I think that's why G2 don't expect it to be soloing Con in a 4v2. It's not going to offer G2 a way back in. So now they're broke. And M80 for the first time in this half get to breathe easy.
Oh, good nades. Kind of split the push here. And Lake just gets to dine on the pistols. Heavy God does have room over towards B right now. I don't know how much of a blessing this will prove to be for G2, though. That bomb still has to rotate around, and the window's starting to close on this B control for Heavy God. You see a player in market, you're thinking they're a little out of position here, so he tries to leap in and take the space away. Sin is quick to deal with him. And so now that bomb is going into hostile territory. 3 players here. And looking for a clean finish up against the Pistols. 2-round game. Suddenly this doesn't feel so impossible for M80.
Yeah, and you're not breaking M80 anytime soon. Look at their money. We've got players over 10K before the buy. They're in a great position now. CT side Mirage, money and momentum. What more could you want? And so it's G2 who call the pause. Feels like a game that has more twists and turns left.
Wonder what kind of pace we get out of G2 here with the return to rifles, because I think M80 are actually quite fond of the early scrap. You know, they quite like going and getting the info, looking for these early engagements. Seen it out towards mid, seen it from Jaber on that ramp push. And so wonder if maybe taking the pace out of it a bit for G2, letting the unknown creep in. I'll do what they can to set up Wrinkle with the AWP, but the rest of them slowly with that bomb through the B apartments. They haven't really tested the waters here all too much. Is Sin ready for them so deep? Doesn't feel like it. Still able to recover with a bit of help from Swisher.
Stuck on this line, but that flash gets him out. And Heavy God can't commit solo with the bomb. Hopes a kill gets presented. Even then, this is risky. Swisher looks keen to get involved, jump up on the van. Just info for now and misinfo at that. They're moving up cap. Bomb is still in the apartments. M80. Only 2 players on this B bomb site and 1 is wounded. The sooner G2 jump on B, the better, but double apps is getting scary. Sin's gonna get deep in this position. He's walking through the smoke. Uh-oh. Oh, it works!
I mean, that's the bomb away from G2.
How do you get it?
I don't think there's any winning this round. You got 25 seconds. You'd have to already be moving in towards this B site. And so, yeah, they write it off just on that bomb drop, just on the risky, low health push. Sin is a shot away from certain death as he plays through the app smoke.
Heavy God moves off the smoke for just a couple of seconds, and it's in that window, of course, that Sin walks through. Free kill for Heavy God, if not. And free bomb site with only 1 player there, but M80 pull up the drawbridge. And now they reach double digits. They are in this game.
I guess the thing I'm almost waiting for G2 is seeing if they go back to just one of these executes. Right, like we were crediting them for how good the util was looking early on, how it was flushing out all the positions that M80 could hope to play. And as they've looked for kind of contact walks or been down to brawl with M80, they've been coming up short. Nerds, that's a big opener out through the connector. Hunter takes it 1 step further. This could be a disaster. Can Slacks bail them out? He'll get away with a double. Wrinkle provides the trade. And his heroics might not be enough. More required still for Swisher and Sin. And as Swisher moves in, he's leveled the playing field. Bomb will get planted. Molly delays it for a couple of seconds, forcing them out into the open. Oh no, Wrinkle! Oh dear. Oh dearie me. You're telling yourselves now, Heavy God, he's the man you want in these clutches. Whole team looking on as they've got to put their faith in Heavy God.
He could walk B. It's got to be tempting. Get cheeky. So many options available, and Swisher now is in the dark. He forego the fight on this A site. He reset. Heavy God will get this bomb plant. And he's got a litany of options to choose from. A random bomb plant, giving Swisher no information as to his position, and with an AWP, he can cut down the key point of rotation in market. Swisher jumps up cat, he hits it.
Buys himself a couple more seconds with that move. But Heavy God has heard him, repositioning. He's looking for the fight, not wanting to play around that bomb. He ends it with style, outbrains Swisher on the reposition. And the moment he gets into that post plant, he wanted to end it there and then. That's match point for G2, and they've got 2 opportunities to close this one out on Mirage.
Oh, explosive A hit. We've seen many rounds like that for G2. The double entry nuts hitting great timing up connector. Again, if Slacks double in vain on the AWP as Wrinkle trades him out, and sure, he burns alive, but puts Heavy God in a very winnable position, and win it he will.
I do just like it. The moment he's in that clutch, you know, you see why Heavy God is such a force to be reckoned with. He's not all aim, no brain. He's got both.
Yeah.
The reposition as soon as Swisher breaks contact, knowing that that's almost kind of the error there, right? Is not taking the fight straight up. And what does Heavy God not do? He doesn't repeat that same mistake. Soon as he gets the info on Swisher, it's decisive. He makes his move. And he's just given G2 a golden opportunity to try and close this here and now.
Slacks and Abs, something here in Palace. A shot though, nice jiggle for G2. We've seen a lot of AWPers catch players unsuspecting today in that position. Not in this round, Heavy God. Full execute, but they again wait for this under component. Mattis this time making a lurk happen. He does get caught by Swisher. Got to do this a man down now. Heavy God, is he that man? Oh, caught on the ladder. It's messy. Bomb can go back, but Nerds needs his kill, and I don't think you're clearing Sin in this position. So every step of this round, G2 hit their head on the ceiling.
All right, Wrinkle. You've had a couple of kills saving this orb. But if there ever was a time for a 1v5, it's now.
Okay. No, I think exits. I think exits will do. He's had a couple of exits. But M80 won't give him anything. Why bother?
Go on, Jaber. Take the peek. You won't.
You wanna. Wrinkle ain't missing these. And so is overtime on the line because, Harry, take a look at G2's money. Aside from this AWP, they have nothing to show for it. We've had back and forth rounds. They have a bit of loss bonus, but we're not talking AK helmets here.
I'd love to know what like the ratio of Wrinkle multi-kills to round wins is. He's had a lot of them in these saves, and it might be required again as he's got multiple players coming his way. Can't hold on to that AWP. M80 closing in on overtime.
After time as well. He's got $400 to his name. Oh, dearie me. Rather make that $100. So G2 final timeout here in regulation. Final round as every sign points to overtime for M80.
You got one Galil to work with. A collection of smokes and flashes, but nothing really to write home about here for G2. When M80 were in a position much like this, they were able to cheat around away with a cheeky window boost. Able to find a gap in the defense.
There's no gap here, though. Look how aggressive M80 are. Switcher has missed this, but he'll catch it right before they make the boxes. M80 playing from the front. Down around, but you wouldn't know it. They know they got this one in the palm of their hand. G2 hope for a hero in the name of Mattis. Galil heading B with the bomb.
He's just telling himself he can't die, he can't be the first guy to fall here, trying to keep eyeballs on middle. But it's a dangerous game he's playing out behind the top mid boxes. Teammates out towards the apartments. There is only one player in the B site. Swisher close by. Will take him a second or so to get eyes on.
Now you go. Cat player spotted, they've got a charge. Oh!
This could be a catch. Sin able to hold on, low on health. Fighting to the dying breath here is Sin, and with a follow-up through the apartments.
That's it.
That's the bomb dropped and away from G2. Can't get the follow-up.
Wait.
Backstab for Nerds closing in. This is only pistols. This was meant to be the golden chance for M80. It's going to come down to the kills.
No.
There's no bomb plant here. Nerds backstab is in. Jaber getting surrounded. Is the pressure going to get to him? It crumbles away. Overtime was right there, and G2 steal it with pistols, with a backstab. Can you believe it?
That is devastating. Last second, right in the flank for Nuts. He even lets that third player cross after hearing two full comps. G2 say forget the bomb. Let's just find these kills, and that they do. 13-11 locked in on this opener here in Paris.
Yeah, great opener right there, and what was a great match, all things considered, especially when you consider just how toe-to-toe these two teams were going into this game itself. A best of one, though, does kind of give us what is a victor on Mirage. It's going to be G2 all the way down to the wire, 13-11.
That was a close game, you know, maybe a bit too close for comfort for G2. Got to give it up to M80 for fighting their way back into that game. It looked like for the vast majority that G2 were in control, at least in the beginning of the second half, I feel like. But M80 put up a good fight, and G2, as said, really had to fight for it. Nerds, strong start, nowhere to be found second half. Wrinkle, on the other hand, showing consistently throughout the map, and that's kind of what we call for Yanko. We wanted to see why they picked up Wrinkle, and I guess we got a glimpse of the potential that he still possesses.
And I think that last round sort of perfectly shows some of the issues for M80, right? And having to play so much in NA. It's like when these rounds slow down and the pressure mounts, is like when they can get outplayed. And I think it was just such a beautiful call from G2 in a very difficult round. Like, you obviously have only pistols and only a couple of nades. Wrinkle, you know, only went into the round with $400 left. And it's easy to just call, let's just do a B-pop. What else can we do, right? But to actually risk and go for a slower round and let it develop a little bit, put Nerds in a position to be able to close it out on the flank, like that was very well played from G2 in the final round.
Yeah, G2 definitely able to kind of dictate pace and really determine where they want to take their fights in a large portion of what it felt like this second half. But again, M80 losing both pistols. Their campaign wasn't off to a rip-roaring start in either half. Kind of unfortunate given how the game turned out.
You can always sit back and feel like, oh, had we just won one of the pistols, you know, converted, then maybe we would have won the game. But I think G2 showed for the vast majority of the game, as Yanko also alluded to, that when it came down to outmaneuvering your opponent and the game plan on the T side for G2, they were in control and looked like the better team. And then, as I said, credit to M80 for fighting their way back into it when they were down 11-7. It was slacks a couple of times, you know, showing up in big moments, having good rotations, good read on it. So a game where I feel like both teams actually got to show some of the decent Counter-Strike that they can play. And for M80, sure, you got nothing to show for. You're losing 13-11, but the performance in itself and the level of Counter-Strike was not bad, you know. It was acceptable. It's just unfortunate for them that it's the best of one, and that was the one opportunity they had to get a result out of the game.
Yeah, and perhaps we can get some words down on the stage. I've got the word right now that Freya's standing by with Saw.
I am indeed, yes, at the 11th hour. G2 managed to get things over the line versus M80. I do have Saw because I have to ask, you have that timeout just before round 24. You only have a selection of pistols to work with. What was the call there? How did you get that one over the line?
I mean, basically just to slow things down a bit, make them use their utility a bit and to finish it on B, like on a slow split. Nothing special, but just to put the pressure more on them so we wouldn't give early entries or anything like that.
How much pressure were you feeling in this one? Because last time you played M80 in a best of one was back in Cologne, was also on Mirage. Were they a different team for you guys today?
I mean, well, obviously there's like some mind games. It's a same map we played back in the major also, but it's also like we made a roster change and there's been so many maps both teams have played in between, so I'm not sure like what to say in the end. It's just the best of one, start of the tournament, so shouldn't overthink about many of these things. Just play the game, and it's also for us with this roster a lot of like new experiences we are gonna be learning from these matches. So we're happy with the win, but yeah.
Let's talk about it. Your new addition, Wrinkle, he was lighting things up on the server here today. First LAN match with you guys as well. Was this your expectation from Wrinkle so quickly coming into the team?
Well, I mean, I knew his mechanics will be good, and when he gets the chances, he will be able to like prove himself. But at the same time, it's still early days, so we need to go like a long way in a way for him to be comfortable, for the team to be comfortable. But good start here at the tournament, even though the score was close, but good start for him at least.
Yeah, exactly. I do just want to pick a little bit at why Wrinkle? Why did he come into the team? What did you see in this guy that you felt like would level up G2?
I mean, he's a young, aggressive OPer, and you don't have so many in the scene. I think the OPing role is a tough one in general, but I think he has a lot to prove. I think he showed very good things at the start of CS2. Maybe the last part of NIP wasn't as strong as he would have liked, but I do think he always had the mechanics, and we can just try to capitalize from that.
Yeah, showing great things in the server here today. Saw, congratulations. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, again, in an opening best of one, you did get that performance out of Wrinkle. There were a lot of question marks. Hell, we were just kind of even reiterating why we had those question marks in the first place. Isn't that right, Jacob?
Yeah, true. You know, overall a great performance, particularly in the beginning of the game. He was 15-5, so you'd argue that when the game was close, when it was back and forth in the first half, he was a big catalyst behind a lot of the rounds G2 were able to get, and then moving over to the T side, it became more of a joint effort, more of a team effort. Together with Nerds in the beginning, those two were heavy hitters. I think Nerds were at 9 or 10 kills 4 rounds into the game, so finishing on 16 also speaks volume to how he slowed down, and maybe also part of the reason why G2 was struggling a bit to closing out the game.
Yeah, Rico had a good game, but this is the sort of opponent that he's supposed to farm in a way, and where he's going to do probably his best work. This is not where he's necessarily going to get properly tested or challenged. I think that comes against the tier 1 teams, right? Like that's where some of his bad habits perhaps can be exploited, and that's where you'll see teams perhaps game plan specifically for him a little bit more once, you know, he has some games under his G2 belt, right? Because at the moment you're still sort of piecing it together how he's going to fit into this G2 squad.
Yeah, Nert's one of the driving forces over there in G2, as was to be expected when he came on board over there. When I'm looking, obviously, for G2, we talked about them breaking through a threshold, 2 different thresholds for both of these teams. M80 just trying to make themselves part of that cream of the crop. G2 trying to solidify just above that. I'd say top 10. They want to be just a little bit past that. For the side of M80, maybe some saving graces here. I mean, we had some nice plays from Jaba, or JBA, however you want to put it. Regardless, we saw some good flashes in the pan here for this side of M80. What did you take away from the performance? Where do they go from here? How do they bounce?
As I said, you know, not a poor performance when you consider they lose both pistols and they're not able to break G2 in any of the second rounds, and they still make the game hyper competitive. I think in isolation, that's okay. You know, that's acceptable from M80, but they needed a win here. They needed, first and foremost, the win to move further into the tournament, to give themselves a better chance of making the playoff, but also for the VIS, as Janko so beautifully described. The reason they're here is because of all these NA qualifiers, and if they want to get a proper invitation to proper tier 1 tournaments, they better start winning against some of the European teams. Now, G2 is a tough opposition to start off against, but it could have been worse, to be honest, for M80. There's a lot of better teams out there than G2, so I feel like it's an okay performance, Janko, but they got nothing to show for.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's similar to the big Aurora game. There was a lot more riding on this game for M80 than there was for G2, right? Like G2 is in a position where they're chasing that stage 3 start, and, you know, with Wrinkle just trying to get some games under their belt to see how it's going to pan out, right? Like, what do they need to work on? How is he going to fit into the squad? So yeah, it's unfortunate that they couldn't at least get it into OT, right? Like, that's the problem. If you lose both pistols, then the margin for error is very, very slim. And in this final round, when you have everything and they only have pistols and not even armor on some players, like, you just have to do better.
Yeah, and that would build us into round 8.
Yeah, I think this is an example of, like, M80 sometimes just lagging behind some of these tier 1 teams, right? So they open up in a very weird weak bye 5v3, right? And the call was supposed to be to go through the smoke with the flash, but you need to abort this call right now.
Yes.
Like, you don't do this. Like, you're in a 5v3, just cancel it. Just stand in connector. Just wait. Just cut noise for like 15-20 seconds. The pressure is on G2, right? And then they get a bit lost in the mid round. They're waiting around Cat. They're going up A in the end. They know Heavy God is alive as the A anchor. He could be maybe pushed to ramp. You see Sin plants in a way where he's exposed to CT. He dies. They try to pick it up, and Slacks is way too passive in this situation. Like, he's worried about sound and noise and whatnot. It's like, you need to be holding that. Like, you need to protect the bomb planter, and the round just slips away. They're forced to go on an eco after this, and that's where you just wish like they could be more connected and that they have better situational awareness to understand that they don't need to continue to with the plan, right? Once they get 2 entries and they kill both B players. Like, I'm not saying you need to go B immediately, like Wrinkle was the Joker there as the 3rd guy, but you need to put all this information together to change stuff in the mid-round.
That second layer of understanding the round and understanding the game, I think, you know, in terms of putting it into context, we saw complexity when they were at a high, you know, NA team as well. They had all these issues as well, converting rounds, converting opening kills. It was always a great game plan coming in from JT back in the days, but once the decision-making comes down to the individuals on the server, or once you're not, you know, necessarily playing after a strict playbook where you go A, B, and C, but you have to invent something in the middle of the round, that's where I feel NA teams, for some reason, struggle a lot, you know. And I think a lot of it comes from the lack of exposure from it in practice. You're not often put in these situations in practice because I remember from my time in NA, and I remember from speaking to some of the players now as well, that it's always, you know, do or die in NA when you practice. You either go for the duel, you win the round. There's no second layer, there's no third layer, there's no maneuvering around or trying to play with the rotation. So once you get exposed to that on a higher level against European teams, you get screwed, Trace.
Let me just tell you right now, it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep.
It's
Okay.
exactly that deep.
What is very deep around here would be these brackets. You said AVC. Well, we also have D as well. We can kind of speed run this, guys. I know you love a quick bracket.
Love me some deep brackets.
Yep, that is D bracket. We'll start on A at least.
Well, G2 versus Big in that game. In a best-of-3 game, I think that's a great test for both teams, to be honest. G2, naturally the favorites, but Big, the way they've been playing and the way they've been punching upwards, that could be an interesting game to advance into the playoff.
Yeah, and if you're Spirit and you turn around the ship that
Now,
was
if you're
this
Luminosity,
morning,
you just
yikes.
go home at this point.
I can't prepare you for a great time down there. But again, you will at least have a best-of-3 in front of you, you know. I guess.
Hey, and we see it time and time again. These lower tier teams, they play their best against tier 1 teams. Sort of like they just the pressure is off. Tier 1 teams sometimes struggle to sort of get a read on how these teams want to approach things.
Yeah, this one is actually what's coming up next. So we do have the Falcons K27. That'll be our next game that we cover here. But as you can tell, we're just getting Group B underway. A couple names stick out there. We'll see if Legacy can kind of piggyback onto where they left off. Switching over to Group C. Yanko, you like this Group of C?
I love Group C, Trace. We have that marquee matchup, like you said, for the day. Vitality versus 100 Thieves in a best-of-1. Zaiwu versus Device. That's going to be interesting. And yeah, already some games being played in the group. Foot, I think 13-11 over Tyloo. Very close game. And still have a couple more to be played over there.
Yeah, here's that D.
There's that D. You love the D, Trace. We know that for sure. Magic, the Mongols have already played the game right here.
Say what?
What? You love Group D. That's what you
Sorry,
said.
because I thought you'd said something else over there, big man. Anyway, let's pick up with Group D. Yanko, what do you got?
No, Jake was doing such a good job. I'll let him handle the D.
I forgot for a second. Yeah,
All right, and just, you know exactly what you're into. The Mongols versus Magic was a decent game of Counter-Strike. The Mongols ended up winning on Mirage. Wildcard to me against Furia. I think Furia right now, is the one team I have no faith in a best-of-1.
Trace, tell me why Wildcard is beating Furia today.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you.
And why is it the Serbian IGL?
That's not the one I was going to go with. That is definitely not the one I was going to go with. What I was more so thinking is that's probably not going to happen. Now, I would love to say, hey, Wildcard, you got a fighting shot. Furia, though, still riding a little bit of a high. I would like to believe that there's still some gas in their proverbial tank.
I think Wildcard switched from ChatGPT to Anthropic, so they should be better now.
Yeah, but I thought it was Claude. Everyone just keeps saying, like, Claude this, that, or the other. I mean, what do you got, Jacob?
I'm a Grok kind of guy over here, so...
Grok kind of guy. Yeah, okay. Well, go ahead and illustrate that. If you're at home, go ahead and get your MS Paint open. Let us know what that might look forward to you. For us, though, we have Falcons K27. It's on the other side of the break, and you are watching the Esports World Cup live from Paris in 2026.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.
EWC is a global event, so we need to reach a global audience.
Ils sont chauds, ils sont là, ils sont prêts, Barney.
Yeah, that is right. And so, with that being said,
With Paris hosting, we're bringing the broadcast in multiple languages, including mime. Mime. People are being taken down. There's an Elam everywhere. Okay, he's down. He's down. He's knocked. Eliminated. Eliminated. Oh, that's a melee weapon. Oh, that is not going to heal in the more. What is? Okay, he has a grenade. And that's a team wipe. That's a team wipe. It's a team wipe. What are we doing? What is happening here? What are we doing? We have to meet the fans where they are and relate to them in ways that they understand. Okay, another one down, another one knocked, and he's been hit. He's been, wait, is he okay? All right, oh no, wait, hey, I don't, hey, can we get help? Are you all right? Are you okay? Hey, can we get a medic? Where's the medic? Can we please have the medic? Oh gosh, oh gosh. Come on, where's the predictor? Roman, can we please have a medic? Wait. This freaking country, man. No matter how difficult it may be. You've just got to be kidding me with this, man. Like, I feel like he's stepping all over my lines. I'm a serious performer. I went to film school. I've been doing this for like 10 years, all right? This isn't my... Was he making fun of me? And with the finals coming to a close on the STC Arena stage, we are finally going to see some of these points and what the implication means for the club championship rankings. Therefore, oh, okay, I'm sorry, am I boring you? I'm boring you? Speaking of boring, you wear the same clothes every single day, okay? Please be perfect. Oh, you know what? Two can play at this game. This is a rock. Huh? How did you, wait, what the? I don't want to be here anymore. No. I'm not interrupting you. You're interrupting me. Yeah, you're stepping all over all of my lines. I need to get this information out. This is what the people want to hear. This is what they need to know about. What are you doing? Oh yeah, real mature. Go ahead, build your wall like you always do. No, seriously, you think that you're going to be invited back? That you're ever going to be hired in esports again? Are you kidding me? It's so unprofessional. I'm done with this. I can't do. Actually, you know what I think? Oh God. Ugh.
ドキドキしようよ準備 的速もう止まらないこの世界を楽しんでみたんだ
Well, today one of these teams joins us as a VRS rank number 33 and the other one a VRS rank number 2. But I can assure you that the major champions of the IEM Cologne and the Falcons joined the server today as an absolute favorite. There is no question asked. But we've seen that today before. We'll see if it pans out the same way here. And what is one of our later games today. I mean, it's starting the later part of the day at least. I welcome you back at EWC. Yanko again in the middle. Jacob down on the other end over there. My name's Trace, and what's in front of us is again,
David
versus.
What? Go on. You want to say it?
Goliath or something?
Oh yeah,
Or something.
Goliath. Yeah. So what we are looking at here is a pretty tough situation for K27 to come waltzing into.
I think they're happy to be here, you know,
No, of
first
course,
and
there's
foremost.
that.
All of us are, you know, let's state that for sure. But
Speak for
K27,
yourself, but
yeah, sure. But for them to make it through the last chance qualifier was a big result for them. Netted some good victories, some good VIS points, you know, taking down teams like Fnatic in the process, Saw as well for that matter. I think overall, just the fact they're part of this tournament is a massive step in the right direction for them. So they come in with absolutely nothing to lose.
Okay. Well, we can hold on to that for a second because losing isn't something that the Falcons did over at the major, right? So where are they at now?
Well, I think the major and the win just gives them so much leeway in terms of results for this season, right? Like, I think this is the most important event for them outside of the major later on. For multiple reasons, right? First of all, it's a huge event, $2 million prize pool. They're looking to bounce back at the start of the season, right? All the top teams are here, and it will go a long way to cement that stage 3 spot for the Singapore major. And second of all, the Esports World Cup Club Championship, right? Falcons, they won the first 2 iterations of it. They're in the running to win it for a 3rd time, and actually it hasn't been too hot considering the amount of games that they have teams in. So they're actually putting a lot of hope into this Counter-Strike roster to be able to, you know, at the very least make a deep run, if not lift the trophy.
So, Jacob, they win the major, but why is it that I still feel like the Falcons in Counter-Strike know how to lose a match?
Well, because they've been consistently pretty good at disappointing you for a long time, I guess. So it
Really
takes
well
a bit of
put.
time before you get used to perhaps a new version of Falcons. That's the big question mark to me. We don't know yet, right? I know the Blast Bounty online game where they didn't qualify for the LAN portion of the game will excuse them that. You know, I'm not really going to put that into my equation, but we don't know whether the Falcons we saw at the major is the Falcons we're going to see for the rest of the season. To me, that's still something I need confirmation on. So that's why I'm very interested in how they do here at EWC.
Yeah, this is definitely a new look Falcons ever since Carrigan joined, but that new look is looking a lot like the FaZe Clan of old, right? And what do we always used to say about FaZe Clan?
They
well,
want that BS.
they could definitely disappoint you, right? And it's never going to be super clean. They're never going to be flawless going into the playoffs, right? Like, it's going to be messy, it's going to be scrappy. They're gonna go through the lower bracketing groups, right? But once you get to the playoffs, once you get to the big stage, the big games, that's when everyone would, you know, like to avoid them. You know, that's where they play their best Counter-Strike. So I think that's going to be sort of the identity of this Falcons roster, probably in the short term at the very least, until they have had enough time with Kerrigan where they're able to raise their floor a little
See, that's
bit.
the fun conflict, because what you're describing is the exact opposite of what Falcons has always been, which were group stage warriors, then they get into the playoff and then they can get nothing done. They don't win the games they're supposed to, right? So if that truly is the case, that Kerrigan is now coming in and we're seeing a new look of Falcons, I wouldn't mind if they struggle a bit in the group stage as long as they show up in the playoff, whereas beforehand, they would be, you know, world beaters in the group stage. It would be like walking into the playoff. They hadn't lost a map. Monacy firing on all cylinders, Nico looking good, and then all of a sudden they lose to Paravision a couple of times in games where they're not supposed to. So I would rather have the Falcons you're describing than the old version where you get disappointed time and time again once you're at the playoff.
Yeah, none of them probably hurt just as bad as that Australia run there by the Falcons once upon a time. Yeah, that's back when Kixon was playing. But yeah, that was what real heartbreak feels like if you're a Falcons fan. For the side of the Falcons, though, finding that rhythm to their rhyme at the major, surely we talk about teams building confidence. What more could you possibly ask for if you're these guys?
I mean, it was a magical run, really. You look at it, arguably the hardest run ever to a major trophy. When you look at the level of teams that they had to face, starting with Na'Vi to make it into the playoffs, then Vitality, into Spirit, into Furia in that grand final, which they, swept 3-0. It was their easiest game, arguably, during the whole tournament. And just the performances that we saw across the board from individuals and as a team. Yosuke in that quarterfinal against Vitality, right? Nico in the semifinal and the grand final. And honestly, the entirety of the tournament, right? With of course, Kerrigan, despite everything, having some key USP rounds and Tessus being the glue that makes it all stick together. So, yeah, it was one of those runs that, no one really expected in a way, but everything seemed to have come together for Falcons in Cologne.
And every single time Kerrigan got a USP, I'm pretty sure he was landing unnecessary headshots. Like, things were working out for the man. The young, sprightly player, the up-and-coming, budding player that is Kerrigan. Isn't that right, Jacob?
I'm not sure about the young part and up and coming or basically any other things you just said right there, but it is an interesting conversation, and I know it kind of splits the waters. Can Kerrigan continue to be the arguably worst fracking in-game leader the game has ever seen at this level, and for Falcons still to be successful? I'm not sure. I think that's another question mark to me. I guess the main argument in regards to that is that Kerrigan came into Falcons to fix a million things, and one of those things were not necessarily himself and his fracking capabilities. Now that they've shown they can win tournaments, now that they've been playing together for quite some time, there's been some practice under the skin as well. They built up a bit of a map pool. Maybe there's a bit more time for Kerrigan to focus just a tiny bit more on himself and produce a little bit more productivity on the server. Because I do think that we are in an era of Counter-Strike where you need 5 players on the server who can shoot back more often than not. And it's not a secret that Kerrigan has been struggling from an individual standpoint.
Yeah. No. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'd still give him a few months where I don't care if he has 3 kills per map, like...
As long as they win, though.
No, but not even if they win. It's like there's other things that are more important for him to put his focus on, right? Like, they're not going to be losing games primarily because he didn't get enough kills. Like, it's for different reasons that they will lose games. And after that, and now you said, okay, now you had plenty of time. You had 6 months to set the floor of the team, to set the foundations and everything. Like, now, you need to focus on yourself a little bit more and just raise your floor, but only by a little bit, honestly.
Yeah. Kaisuke on the screen, but really, I'm going back to the clip of Kerrigan in the locker room, so to say, where he's talking to the guys, and he's basically laying out flat, hey, I need this from you, I need that from you. I think he's bringing a leadership characteristic to that team that it desperately needed.
It's like people just talk so much about Kerrigan's stats. Look at the stats of everyone else since he joined.
Yeah.
And look at how much you lose on him and how much you gain on everyone else.
The trade-off.
I mentioned the Vitality game. Like, you look at the 2 maps that Falcons won, and you look at Kyosuke's performance, especially on Anubis on that first one, like, it was lights out. You look at the grand final and Anubis when it's getting kind of close and he just gets dropped an AK and like opens up the A-bomb site 2 rounds in a row. It's like those sort of rounds. It's like he's just so good at understanding the strengths of his players and putting them in positions where they can play towards their strengths, right? And I think that compared to just the sort of a character Kerrigan is and being jovial and sort of understanding that you need to take some of the pressure off of these players and make it so that they enjoy the game a little bit more and having some more fun on the server, I think that's gone a huge way into getting more out of mainly Kyosuke, but everyone on the team.
As long as the trade-off is positive, Trace. As long as there's a positive trade-off in terms of how Kyosuke is playing, how Manisi is feeling comfortable on the server, Tessus for that matter as well, I think it's going to be just fine, but it's something to keep an eye out for the rest of the season, without a doubt.
We could talk about positives, and I would love to pick out a few over here for the the ops, the adversary of Falcons today, but they are going to have to fight uphill. You guys saying that they're happy to be here? Yes, but this is going to start to be that big test. You got a best of 1 today at the Falcons, BO3s thereafter.
Yeah, I think for K27, really, you're not going to remember them at this tournament, but you're going to talk about them like a year from now. And definitely a couple of players on this team, the likes of Quinky, Xido, even Kashid on that AWP, right? These are guys who are 18, 19 years old, who just sort of are bursting out onto the scene, that have great mechanical skill that have a lot of potential and have started to sort of put themselves on the map when it comes to even some of these tier 2, tier 1 teams.
Yeah, and the foundation for potentially pulling off an upset is definitely there. You're playing Falcons, who were off to a slow start. They lost to the Thieves, in that online game, and that is what it is. And then you have a best of one coming in as well, and you saw what happened to Team Spirit. So it's not that we can't, create a world where it's possible for K27 to be competitive or apply a bit of pressure to Falcons, but there's no denying the fact that you're talking about a team who just won the major, and you're talking about a team who had to borrow shirts from EWC in order to have the same, outlook. So it's just two different worlds at the moment.
Man, I think that it took some T-shirts there for the outlook. Yeah, I heard Freya just kind of screamed, I think it was. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get some insight. Maybe Freya caught up with the side of K27 before we got started.
We got Cashlid ready to take on the Falcons here at the Esports World Cup, but you've already been here for a number of days. You guys came through the open qualifier. Can you tell me a bit about that from your perspective?
That was a really tough road for us because we played on the last day 3 BO3s in a row, and I'll say that was a good performance from us, and that was really hard open quali for everyone team, and we made it. So we are here, we're ready to play against Falcons today, and that's it.
Just one more question about the open qualifier. What would you say was the toughest matchup that you had to play in there, and why?
The toughest matchup was Fnatic, because that was the third best of threes, and we have zero emotion, zero energy to play, but our mentally just did something for us, and we had the second, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, I think that was versus Fnatic, and that's it, I guess.
Yeah, it was a crazy marathon that you guys had to go through to get here. Today, though, a bit more of a sprint. Best of one versus Falcons. You played them back in Astana. Can you give me a recap of what happened in that series, what you learned there?
In PGL Astana, we played very bad versus them because that was our first tier 1 tournament, and we have a lot of pressure, and we were watching at them like on idols, no one can beat them. But now, through the days, I think that I have a lot of experience after PGL Astana, and today I'm watching at this matchup we can beat them. So we're gonna try our best, and let's watch what we can do.
Just to play devil's advocate for a second, Falcons have won a major since then. Do you think they're a different team now than when you played them in Astana?
I think yes, because on PGL Astana that was first tournament with Kerrigan, and now they have played 3 months, and there are two high-rated players, and I don't know, they're too good at the boss and right now, but I don't know.
I mean, we've already seen some upsets today. GG How taking down Spirit as well earlier on. I do want to just get to know you a little bit more, though, because if I'm correct, you're only 19 years old. Who do you look up to? Who do you kind of aspire to be like as a player?
As a player, of course, Monacy. Yeah. This when I was 15 maybe or 16, I was watching him he's my teacher, but now I wanna beat him and show myself that I can do it, prove myself. And this is BO1, best of one, so everyone can beat everyone, like GG How did versus Spirit. So
truly, anything can happen. Thank you so much for your time, Cashlid. Good luck.
Anything can and truly will happen here at EWC. We will have these maps, or rather map, because this is the best one. We'll have that data out in front of you in just a second. What do you take from that, Yanko, now that we know players are looking up to Monacy? How do you feel about that, guys? I know you were talking about how old we were.
Crazy. He's talking about 3 or 4 years ago, when he was 15, 16, Monacy was 18. Back then, he was just starting out in G2, but yeah, I think it obviously tells you the times are changing.
Yeah, they definitely are. Yeah, and they've changed so much that we've got another best of one.
We got another best of one, and we got to figure out what map that is going to be played out. And I think the trend so far has been a lot of Mirage, not only on the A stream, but also on the B stream. Kind of middle in the pack map. Dust 2, in contention for these two teams as well. It's at least up there. And right now, if Falcons want to play it, they can. And the map will be Dust 2 again. A map where Falcons are going to feel very comfortable. It's a map they really had in the pool. And Kerrigan has integrated into Falcons. hugely part of their success of the major as well. Whereas for K27, at the very least, you get to express yourself on that T side, and you get to dictate the tempo of the game. Whether you can make something out of that or not, well, we're about to see, but it's a map that offers opportunities.
Yeah, it's the most played map for Falcons by a large margin. I mean, they played it 17 times already with this lineup. But yeah, on the other hand, K27 did 13-0 Sinners on it.
So we have that.
There's a chance.
And so a 13-0, so there is a chance. Hey, this is also a chance for me to tell you all at home, do you think you know more than these guys? That wasn't a trick question. I mean, like, there's a real chance you might. But if you do think you know more than them, or even any of us, let's go ahead and get those pick'ems going. That's right. It's my time to tell you about. Go ahead and pick out who you think is going to be winning the big prize here. We're at the World Cup, the Esports World Cup at that. Counter-Strike is just one small part of this. So, yes, you can go through there, and you can get your pick'ems done. That'll be a little QR code down there. Gentlemen, we know where we're going. We're going to Dust 2. Anybody want to take K27, or am I crazy?
The trend so far has been that every game has been close. Every game has been up in contention and been up for debate. I think Falcons is going to come in and make it swift and fast for the first time today.
Yeah, it feels like we had our upset of the day with the GG How
no
win
way.
over Spirit. Right? It would be a bit too crazy if it happened 2 times in the same day.
Yeah, it really would be. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think it is time that we get on the stage. Let's play the game.
That's right, it's a moment you've been waiting for. Falcons versus K27 here at EWC in Paris. And of course, Falcons with a lot to search for in this tournament, with a club championship on the line, hanging in the balance, hoping their CS team can bail them out. And it's not just any CS team, these are your major winners back at Cologne, looking to take on a plucky underdog to start off their group stage run in K27. It's a match we've seen, Harry. It happened back at Astana, the event prior to Cologne. Falcons 2-0. There was a close map in there, but this is also a slightly different K27, a more battle-hardened K27 that not just has played LAN since, but just came through the qualifier. They've been here in Paris grinding, and they've got a string of teams left in their wake.
Yeah, and good teams at that, right? When you look at the K27 run, it's really impressive, man. The squads they were able to take down, some of them I would have said were like front runners to be battling through into the main stage at EWC, and they were able to dispatch them fairly cleanly. So yeah, they're coming into this feeling red hot, feeling confident. Falcons can't get caught sleeping at the dawn of this tournament.
Definitely not. I mean, we've seen games like these where Falcons have, you know, in the previous roster, I think more so struggled, right? Like some matches versus Bait, some opening BO1s, BO3s, games where they get punished, picked especially. So yeah, there's definitely opportunity in a match like this, especially when you consider that this is, you know, Falcons who came off at the start of the season with an immediate loss online to 100 Thieves. They've already lost to an underdog. This is LAN, Harry. This is where the big boys should be showing up. So let's see if Falcons can do it today, or if K27 have more tricks up their sleeve. I'm definitely excited by some of these K27 players, right? There's some names you may be familiar with, players like Quinky, who have grinded to the top of the Face-It leaderboard as of late. Has definitely been one to look out for. And so now, as K27 get more LAN reps under their belts, this is the final boss. And hey, we already saw Spirit upset earlier.
Very upset at that. Let's see what kind of form we get out of the Falcons early on. As it's pretty slow as they go pistol round here. Looking like a B finish. I'm still waiting in the tunnels. It's a util out for this mid to be. Quinky doing what he can, but he's getting split on. Zito with the cover. Quick drop down into the bomb site, obscuring himself from this mid-wrap. Won't get away from Monacy, who comes through with just a triage of headshots there. Tessez still waiting down here in the tunnels. Chance to come in on the backstab as well, and that would put a bow on this pistol round. Here he is. Heard the footsteps, heard them running away, knows his time to play is now.
Hold the shot, wait for your window player as m0NESY looks for his 4th frag in this pistol round. I don't think they're going to stop him. Tessa steals it away. No complaints here from the Falcons as they come through with a pistol. It was an admirable behold from those 2 players in the bomb site, but a little bit of freeze there allows Falcons to come through doors and window together, and m0NESY collects both those crucial kills. Dust2 bound to be explosive. And the force buy comes straight through here for K27.
I think the Falcons, you want to see them on the other side now at the player break post the major, feel like they're still progressing. You don't want to feel like it was kind of a lightning in a bottle, honeymoon phase, whatever. So I want to see them looking even more refined on the other end of the break. This is a force buy from K27. They might have netted that opening kill, but Falcons still get the long control they were looking for. m0NESY swing and a miss, but Nico there to help him out.
Quite a pace in these 2 rounds here for Falcons. Confident start. With enough pace to push these players out of the bomb site. With that short smoke, it will be a save. Keeping the scout for later. So Falcons do convert for now. And I mean, yeah, sure, the major was, it was so Carrigan, wasn't it? Come through, the master of the stand-ins, being essentially the new stand-in, the new piece of this team, and leading them to a major victory. Rounds away from losses in multiple of those playoff maps. Still managing to take the trophy. But yeah, let's at the same time remember that Falcons still had problems prior to Carrigan joining. And one golden run doesn't undo everything. So definitely looking for some consistency and some reliability out of Falcons, especially when you consider the field right now, Harry. Like, look at Vitality and the news they've announced for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You know, multiple stand-ins, players taking time off. You look at Spirit, well, they're not exactly in consistent form either, even losing a BO1 today. So the field is open.
Yeah, I think if you're the Falcons, you got to recognize kind of the massive opportunity, the idea that you could look to emerge as the new dominant team. Ooh, flash play into lower. Nico able to withstand it, at least trades that out.
You know, a lot of the stuff we see at Tier 1 is stolen from, you know, upcoming teams that grind, teams that play a lot of online games. You have to come up with a lot of plays and little moves that they can make. And, you know, K27 are one of those teams that have a lot of really cool setups. Don't know how much you can get away with on Dust2, but nice to see them, even on an eco round, have a little flash push like that, get a 5v4, but it's traded and Falcons take the space right back. So longing out the round doesn't seem likely here for K27. Would love to grab a couple of AKs on the way out.
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the worries that always comes to mind with Dust2 is just how it can feel by nature of the map. You'd sometimes say, oh, you know, it can feel a little 50-50. Don't often see teams kind of lean into it in a BO1, but I think for Falcons, for the reason you just said, it's actually a good place. Like, there's a little less in terms of gimmicks you could try and get away with here. You've seen a lot of it before.
And I think that also, you know, I agree, but I think the higher up the ladder you get, the less true that is, right? When you actually look at, you know, the best teams in the world in the past 18 months, and you look at a team like Vitality or a team like Spirit, well, they've just proven that consistency on Dust 2 is extremely viable. Vitality were like 44-4 or something on that map. Spirit had a pretty close record as well, just with less maps played, but essentially the same win rate. And so, at the very top level, you can find consistency on this map.
We're liking the start you've got out of Monacy. Loves a cross shot, but doesn't have a chance to fire one off in this round. Both players make it by. Actually getting to don his AWP as well for the side of K27. Bit of posturing for a mid to be, but if you look at where the bomb is, that's not where this round is ending. Karrigan, Tesses, and Kiyosuke wait over towards long. One man here, it's Clax down in the pit. And he will have his work cut out for him. No flashes to support from Zido, so he's entirely alone in this. Clax, that's a gnarly double kill, and now he's got teammates en route to try and help him out. They've just got to contain Karrigan, who has made it out into no man's land.
Oh dear.
Nearly put some style on it, ends up giving it away.
That would have been a double kill with the bomb control. Now it's the opposite, they've lost it. Dropping back for the fight, Monacy in middle, overwhelmed, and the AWP has the cover as well. So it's going to be K27 on the board, but to be honest, Karrigan should be the double. It's the jump scroll that lets K27 into the round. Awkward moment indeed. And that's going to cost you. Monacy's AWP is not cheap. Nico cannot buy an AK, nor can Kiyosuke.